to jump into this thing, and the parties are doing it to themselves.
Why do third parties, and I think we all know what No Labels is up to. They're trying to play spoiler, even though they insist they're not. I mean, I think we know they very clearly are. You've got the Green Party, who's always running for president, Jill Stein again. So why do third parties, if they're...
How do you really feel about that, Cal?
Well, there would not have been a President Trump if Jill Stein was, Well,
let me ask this question: if the third parties are being serious, if they actually want to be president, why do they keep trying to run for president? And what I mean is, why don't they run down ballot? Why don't you hold local office first, make a name for yourself as a party, and then you'll have a viable option? You don't start with president.
Yeah, exactly. But none of these third parties have ever really taken on at a local level either. And Jill Stein has name ID. She can run in the Democratic primary just as easily as she could be running as a third party. And any vote that goes to Jill Stein is going to be a vote for whoever's running against the Democratic nominee. And potentially that could be the case with No Labels if there's some type of alternative to Donald Trump out there. John, you're a far better historian than I. Why don't we see the rise of a third party at the local level?
Because the way our elections are conducted in countries that have proportional representation, as many nations in Western Europe do, you actually vote for the party and not the individual for your local House of Delegates or whatever it may be. And that way, a third party candidate, if they're getting 12% of the vote, they get 12% of the members in representation. Well, here it's the winner take all, and you don't even have to have a majority. So if you're running third or fourth or fifth parties, the candidate that gets the most votes gets the seat, and it's going to be a Democrat or a Republican. Could there be a rare instance where an independent or one of these minor parties can actually win a seat? I suppose. But how many libertarians are serving in state governments across the country today? I don't think any. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's one. I don't know. But I don't think any. And it's just because our system is designed to produce two policy aggregating entities that oppose each other, as opposed to a bunch of different entities that have very particularized ideologies. And that's just the way it is in this country. But what's happened to our two parties, there was a time a generation ago where you had liberal Republicans. People are talking about the rhinos now. Well, I mean, there was a time where you actually had liberal Republicans. Right. Those don't exist any longer. And there were conservative Democrats, particularly in the South, thinking about Al Gore's daddy back in the day, and Sam Nunn. Those were conservative Democrats.
What, did you just move into like a Southern drawl? I'm going to talk about my daddy.
Don't talk about my daddy that
Al
way.
Gore's daddy was his name was
Mr. Gore.
It was Al Gore.
We had it right here in St. Louis. I knew a liberal Republican, Betty Sims, who was from the central part of the county. Yeah, and she was a fairly progressive Republican.
Yeah. So what's funny is I think I'm considered a liberal Republican now because
You're not liberal.
I mean, I'm not, but I was talking to somebody and they were asking me, what political pundits I liked, whose opinions I like or I aligned with. I brought up David French, who was with the Dispatch. He's now a New York Times opinion columnist. And this person said, "Oh, wow, he's pretty progressive." And I'm thinking, this guy's a staunch conservative. Right. And they think that I was pretty progressive because I liked what he had to say. Okay, can I ask you
You
this?
would have thought she would have said, Hancock and Kelly are my favorite political.
Yeah, I wasn't waiting for that one.
They just eat up 45 minutes of our time for us. That's all they do.
Listen, we enjoy the company.
It's always a pleasure to come in here with the two of you.
You two have become like bosom buddies over there. You're together all the
John
time now.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's going to be called the Ranji and Hancock show, and I'm out.
Then you and I, Michael,
hey
we
now,
go back to the original dynamic duo.
That's because Mark's Coors hyphen whatever it's going to be over here travels all the time.
Mark's jars.
Yeah,
Mark's jars.
That's hard to say.
It really, Mark's Coors is tough enough. I actually think Mark's jars is easier.
Yeah.
Mark's like Carl.
Mark's jars.
Coors
Well,
like
especially
Michael.
if you're from St. Louis, it's easy to say. Mark's jars.
Mark's jars.
I mean, that
Anyway.
rolls off the old.
Let's get back to politics.
Okay.
But do we get to talk about your stuff here in a little bit?
What
We
stuff?
can.
I want to
mean,
get
we-
into.
well,
We
yeah.
have to.
We
We
will.
have
All
to.
right.
We'll
Just
do
go
that
back
after
and listen
this.
to the podcast,
No.
would you?
Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh. Can I? Here's a political question for you though, because I said this a couple of days ago before Joe Manchin said he was not going to run for re-election. Again, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. How in the world are these the people we're voting for? And I wonder, why can't the Republicans realize that? And this is my opinion. If Nikki Haley were to run against Joe Biden,
Oh.
I think Haley crushes Joe Biden.
No question.
But if like a more moderate Democrat, like a generic Democrat, not Gavin Newsom, not Kamala Harris, but again, Joe Manchin, right? Very, very moderate. Some people say he's Republican, but Joe Manchin, if he were to run against Trump, I feel like he would beat Trump because he would get my vote. Like Gavin Newsom, I couldn't vote for Gavin Newsom, but I could vote for Joe Manchin.
Well, let's answer this question when we come back. We need to take a break. When we come back, want you guys to get to that specific point that Amy just asked here on KMOX.
All right, I'm going to tell you about STL Fence Works. STL Fence Works has been serving the St. Louis, St. Charles, Franklin, and Warren counties for over 50 years. Now, this weekend, we and the Jar family, we're spending all weekend outside on the deck because we're having two parties to celebrate Clara Jar's birthday. And this whole weekend has been based around the outdoor space, a deck. And yes, the yard is fenced in, so we have some privacy. We can let the dog run around and not have to worry about him running away. This is how much an outdoor space can change not just your home, but the way you plan parties, weekends, and get-togethers with families. And STL Fence Works is proud and excited to install American-made aluminum and vinyl fence products, as well as American-made decking, all wholly sourced and manufactured right here in the U.S. And did you know STL Fence Works is the #1 distributor of Wolf cellular PVC decking in the Midwest? And yep, that's manufactured right here in the U.S. It's the #1 maintenance-free decking product in the country. At STL Fence Works, your satisfaction is their passion. Visit them today, stlfenceworks.com.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
When you withdraw money from your IRA in retirement, you could trigger an avalanche of taxes. Learn how you could avoid this with your retirement professors. Saturday afternoon at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
Our goal at NeoVitan is to make supporting your nutrition as easy as possible. That's why we created the NeoVitan monthly subscription. Just go to neovitan.com, choose your multivitamin, sign up, and we will do the rest. You'll receive your NeoVitan multivitamin every month with no long-term obligation. You can pause or cancel at any time, and shipping is free. Each NeoVitan multivitamin includes our physician-formulated proprietary blend for nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Start supporting your nutrition the easy way with NeoVitan multivitamins. Sign up for a NeoVitan subscription today at neovitan.com.
Join me, Matt Pauley, and support Jewish Federation's Blue Ribbon campaign. The blue ribbon symbolizes support for the safe return of all 240 hostages taken by Hamas terrorists and unites you with people of all religions, races, and nationalities in telling Israelis they are not alone. Be part of the movement. Every dollar donated goes to saving lives and providing support in Israel. Visit jfedstl.org to learn more and donate. jfedstl.org.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1979. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1979. That's 800-777-1979. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. 800-777-1979.
The leaves are changing. Thanksgiving is just around the corner. And you know what that means? It's time to start making your list and checking it twice. Pro tip, if you're planning to propose this holiday season, it's time to design the perfect ring now. Every Diamonds Direct engagement ring is handcrafted to perfection, which takes time. So don't wait. Start designing your dream ring today. Our experts will make you feel at ease as they educate and guide you to create that one-of-a-kind ring you're envisioning. Our industry-leading warranties will give you total confidence. And as always, our nationwide price guarantee will ensure you get the very best value. Plus, Diamonds Direct has a gift even Santa can't beat. Buy any natural diamond at Diamonds Direct and get a 14-karat gold solitaire setting free. Beat the rush, shop in November, and make this holiday season one to remember. Diamonds Direct at Olive and 270, official partner of the St. Louis Blues and proud to call the Gateway City home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
KMOX, the 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year, recognized by the Missouri Broadcasters Association. KMOX, we were built for this.
Well, I want to laugh at why Nikki Haley didn't answer your question, which is about looking at families in the eye. In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Adult daughter. The next generation of Americans are using it. And that's actually the point. You have her supporters crapping her up. That's fine. Here's the truth.
You're just
the easy
scum.
answer.
She called him scum, John.
Man.
And not wrong. She is not wrong.
Nothing is more cathartic than Nikki Haley's disdain for Vivek Ramaswamy. I love it because that's how you feel. He's just
It's just a smarmy.
John and I were not in the same space on Tuesday night.
Because Michael was out of town.
We were, but we did TV together. I had to do it from a remote location, but I texted him the second that happened and said, this is the way we're selecting presidential candidates now, is who can act like the biggest to somebody. It's a bad word. I'm not allowed to use it.
Oh,
what does it start with?
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah, I know the word.
I think you called it butthole.
I love that word.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. Well, he used it the other day on Glover. I heard
a
it.
Giant butthole, that guy.
Yeah, but I mean, and I said to John then, I said, mark my words, it will be the thing that the candidates that the Republican voters liked the most was when he acted like an idiot to Kristen Welker, and then
the top.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it's
just started.
Yeah, and this is thank you, Donald Trump. This is what he's brought us, and this is what the Republican Party's become.
I can't stop thinking about the fact that my doctor told me I got to go get a colonoscopy.
Is that because of the word?
Huh?
What?
Well, it's just I'm at that age.
I like it. The colonoscopy, let me tell you, I would do one once a year. What? No. Once it's out of you, I mean, you feel so clean and light after you go through that whole process. I don't mind it.
White Castle will do the same thing for you.
Hey, now.
So Amy asked a very important question.
I was going to say the GOP needs a colonoscopy. I can tell you.
They need
This
a
town needs
Roto-Rooter.
an enema. It's from Batman. The Michael Keaton Batman.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
Jack Nicholson.
One of the all-time classic motion
Michelle
pictures.
Pfeiffer.
No, that was Batman 2.
Oh, Michelle.
Batman
Pfeiffer.
Returns. Batman Returns.
Okay. At any rate, am I wrong in thinking
No.
that Manchin would crush Trump, but Haley would crush Biden? I'm more.
I don't know
confident
that
in
crush
Haley.
is the right answer.
Okay.
I
Beat?
I think Nikki Haley could potentially beat President Biden. Yeah, I do think that. I think Chris Christie probably could beat Joe Biden.
Do
I
you?
think that maybe even Ron DeSantis could beat Joe Biden.
You do?
Really?
Potentially. Look,
I guess potential.
you guys. He's the incumbent president at a time that the economy is. It's still rocking, but I mean, there's crisis, there's trouble. It's always going to be. By the time we get to a binary choice, I think President Biden wins, even in the midst of all this stuff. Joe Manchin, I don't know, Amy. Your question was why don't the Democrats put him up? I don't know that he would motivate Democrats in the way that the current president does. I think he may motivate a lot of Republicans on your side in the same way that Mitt Romney's not going to motivate Republicans,
Right.
but he
But
would
the only-
motivate me.
I think the only way he gets Manchin would get Republican votes is if Republicans are just so disgusted with
With
Donald Trump.
You know
That's
how we
the
always
only
say.
way, but I
Right.
still don't think it motivates them to do it.
Yeah.
You know how we say, like, Josh Hawley knows he's not going to lose like a regular Republican like me, but he could lose the Trump voters. So he panders to the Trump voters. I do feel like if Joe Manchin were the Democratic nominee against Trump, he wouldn't lose any Democratic voters. He wouldn't lose any. He would gain some people like
I
me.
think he wouldn't get people to come out.
And
That's
to vote.
that's what
the
Ron
issue.
said.
I think that's right.
That is right.
That's
You don't-
right.
but if
Now,
he's running against
I would
Trump-
see it so important. I'd vote for your dog. I'd vote for
a potato.
anybody, a potato over Donald Trump. Truly, really.
But that's what
I'd
I
even vote
mean.
for Ron DeSantis over Donald Trump.
But remember how I don't think people were crazy enthusiastic about Biden, but they were anti-Trump. You don't think enough people, if it were Manchin versus Trump, would be driven not because they love Manchin, but because they don't want Trump?
I think Manchin would win. Yeah. I think pretty
Well,
much.
that's not. Manchin's never going to win a Democratic nomination. Chris
But
Christie's
that wasn't
never
the
going to win a
question.
Republican
I'm with you.
nomination.
Yeah.
Nikki Haley could win a Republican nomination. She's not going to, but she could win. And to answer your question, Nikki Haley would win 40 states against Joe Biden. And every single one of the swing states she would win. And she would run better in places like New Hampshire that hasn't gone Republican in a while. She would pick up potentially Maine. You could see her. I could see her winning in a state like Washington State. You know, and a lot of the suburban areas, you look at the suburban Seattle area, Nikki Haley's very appealing to that voter.
Don't you think when you watch the debate, as chaotic as it is, she doesn't strike me as a fool? Like she is smart and she's experienced.
She's the strongest candidate
Yes.
running for president
Yeah.
today. I mean, I personally am a Joe Biden voter and like Joe Biden, but I can acknowledge that Joe Biden's not the same Joe Biden he was 2 years ago. I'm still going to be voting for Joe Biden because I think his policies are right. But when I look at that field, I think she's the strongest candidate. I think the second one's Chris Christie.
Yeah, there's a policy depth to her across the spectrum. I mean, she's not just an expert in one thing. She's got a policy depth. She knows what she believes, and she articulates it very well. That's a fairly rare combination of skill sets that politicians often don't possess. She possesses them. And to my surprise, I did not expect going into this that I was going to like Nikki Haley that much.
And to Ranj brought up, when it comes to the abortion conversation, she is a pro-life person in a pro-choice society and articulates that and stands for what she believes in a very smart way.
Okay, she did fine the other night at the debate saying that stuff, but if we went into a little time machine, went back 2 years ago and listened to Nikki Haley's rhetoric on abortion, she didn't sound anything like that mimby-pimby stuff we heard on Tuesday night that was there to attract.
So
I would have to hope she evolved on that then.
Yeah.
Way back when I actually was winning elections. I had a very pro-choice district. I had the Creve Coeur, Olivet, Ladue. I was pro-life, and you do learn how to speak on that issue, and Republicans just haven't had to do that until now.
John, I tell you, you win elections with me every day. You win the election of Ranj every
Aw.
day.
How about that?
Hey, there's a candidate we need to talk about, a potential candidate we should talk about, and we'll do that when we come back on KMOX.
It's what's happening
We need to do more to protect Palestinian civilians.
right now.
The only path is through a two-state solution.
Slogans like the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
That means the destruction of Israel. That's not going to work.
You have a racist attorney general.
The only thing that matters are the facts and the numbers.
Keeping you informed
A new caravan headed for the U.S.
and up to date.
And made us less safe.
News Radio 1120. KMOX.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-728-8500. 800-728-8500. That's 800-728-8500.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youreye.com.
It's football season at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, featuring the best pool in history. Stadium Square, 3 levels, 6 pools, and a 143-foot diagonal screen. Stadium Swim is America's favorite place to watch football. Touchdown! Unbelievable! Stadium Swim, located at Circa Resort and Casino. Book today at CircaLasVegas.com. That's CircaLasVegas.com.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies, 53 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. One person is dead following a shooting this morning in Fenton.
The shooting occurred at 141 right outside of Gravway Bluffs at the bottom of the hill of the IHOP restaurant, where police were called to a traffic hazard. Officers responded, found a male victim suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. The male was transported to an area hospital for life-saving treatment, but died to his injuries en route. No additional information has been given at this time. Just based on the scene, a white pickup truck pulling a pair of ride-on mowers appears to be involved. There are little evidence tents around the vehicle, and I saw investigators taking photos of the interior of the vehicle as well. Reporting from Gravway Bluffs, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The White House says President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping will discuss a range of regional and global issues when they meet next week in the San Francisco Bay Area. Among those issues, Taiwan's upcoming election, differences over U.S. export controls on advanced technology, North Korea, and the Israel-Hamas war. Fans have pushed the Fisher-Price Corn Popper into the National Toy Hall of Fame. It joins baseball cards, Cabbage Patch Kids, and Nerf foam toys in the class of 2023, announced today. The forecast for today, it's going to be mostly sunny with a high of 58, clear cold tonight, a low of 36, and mostly sunny tomorrow with a high of 57. Right now, sunny skies, 53 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
I'm Tony Kornheiser, and this is my show. What, you expecting something different? Whether you're looking for deep, insightful dives into the day's top sports stories, that's why we have guests, right, Nigel? Or simply how to get change for 100. You'll find it on the Tony Kornheiser Show. From football picks from the best prognosticators in the business, including a monkey, to real-time baseball playoff analysis, to traffic in an area where you don't live. We got you covered. My friends come on, and you know them. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Spark St. Louis is the newest collaborative co-working office space located in the PwC Pennant Building at Ballpark Village. Spark supports local entrepreneurs and corporate professionals and features over 80 private offices, day pass options, monthly networking events, conference room, and special event amenities, while offering an innovative approach to city life where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within the neighborhood at Ballpark Village. Schedule your tour today by visiting Spark St. Louis online at spark-stl.com.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes talks football, family, and more. Monday nights during Sports Open Line, only on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
I'll share this a little bit with you. At the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, rather, in 2022, I got a visit from the parties asking me if I was going to run and if I could run.
Wow.
And it was a big deal, and it came out of the blue.
Wow.
And it was one after the other. And they brought up that poll. They also brought up their own deep dive research and data that would prove, should I ever decide to go down that road,
You would be a real contender.
yeah. So with the response, I responded in that way. I thought it was important. And I do feel that way, by the way. If that's ultimately what the people would want, then of course I would consider it.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Washington, D.C.
What do you guys think? It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Hancock and Kelly with us on a Friday. That's Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock. And he's on the What Now podcast with Trevor Noah. It was the first episode of that podcast. And he was talking about this poll that came out in 2021, where 46% of respondents said they would be behind Dwayne Johnson for the presidency if he decided to run. And he's also saying, you heard the clip there, that he was approached by political parties. He did not specify if that meant both Democratic and Republican parties, if it was third parties, whatever it was. But apparently he has been approached. We've seen actors in the past. We've seen comedians get elected to office. We've seen a wrestler get elected to office. Could it happen with the presidency and somebody like him?
Well, sure. I mean, we just did this, right? I mean, politics has become entertainment for a lot of people, and the less experience you have, the better. And, which it's mind-boggling to me, but it's the culture that we're living in. It's not reflective necessarily of Republicans or Democrats. So we're in a celebrity culture. We love reality television. And ever since they started putting those people out in the woods and voting them off, what was that called?
Survivor?
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
In the woods.
And you're voting them off. You're voting them out of the woods or whatever.
What's crazy is I knew exactly what it was.
Was there a moonshine show?
Yeah.
People in Alabama making alcohol?
That's where we are as a society, as a culture. And you go out and you recruit people because they're famous, because they're in reality television shows.
Well,
it's ridiculous, but that's where we are.
Yeah. And could it happen? Sure. I think it would matter. Do you think it would be Kim Kardashian or Ariana Grande who would be his running mate? That would make a difference to me. No, I don't like this. I don't like it. But it's not new. Unfortunately, like you said, we did just elect a celebrity to the White House in Donald Trump.
We were talking about Oprah Winfrey running for president a few years ago.
It's
Taylor
crazy.
Swift would get elected president in this country right now.
It would not even be close
Yeah.
because people, one, would genuinely love her. And then there'd be a large contingent of people that think it would be hilarious.
Right.
But wouldn't it be hilarious if she were president?
I mean, and you look at the appeal of Trump. I mean, the people go to those rallies because they are entertained by them. They're certainly not going to hear the details of
anything,
intricate policy discussions about, and you going out and saying that, Kim Jong-un is, he runs 1.4 billion people. Did you see that the other day?
Yeah.
They got him confused with the Xi of China. I mean, but it's entertainment, and that's what people are tuning in for in their politics. I don't think it serves the country particularly well.
And it's all funny and I guess entertaining until it's not. And we've got some major stuff going on where there really is a skill set that comes with being a politician.
Well, this is partly when I was watching the debate, Nikki Haley has that foreign policy experience, that international experience. I have to say, Tim Scott looked so out of his league when it came to international policy, foreign policy. That was something that would concern me. That's someone who is already in Congress. If you have a celebrity who could win, and I've got to throw this devil's advocate point out, what about people who say, well, Ronald Reagan was an actor?
Yeah, he was
Reagan
also the governor of
California.
California.
And Ronald Reagan had spent years doing these radio vignettes about his worldview, and he was talking. I've got all the cassette tapes at home, and
you do.
I got nothing to play them on, but I've got the cassette tape. But he would do these vignettes about his view on taxes, his view on foreign affairs, and he was a very defined product ideologically and policy-wise when he ran for president.
But I think look, Bill Bradley was a superstar for the New York Knicks and winds up becoming a United States senator. But he was serious. There was reality behind it. He was driven by policy and wanting to make the world better. What we're watching now is political opportunists who are going out and talking to The Rock, because The Rock's got name ID. I've never heard him give any thoughts on welfare or, how to fix the earned income tax credit.
He stayed pretty. He doesn't like to, in any way, ruffle feathers. He never says anything that could be construed as remotely controversial. He stays so far away from that. I don't know how you then become a candidate because you have to take a position on stuff.
Yeah. I can't believe we're even having this conversation.
Oh, I can't.
Well, 46%.
No,
is
I
not
get
a
it.
small
It's
number.
messed up. It's messed up. I mean, it's messed up that Donald Trump's even being considered to be the nominee for the Republicans again and has a 50% chance of being president again.
Think about
much less The Rock being
think
president.
about this. George W. Bush, who I genuinely like George Bush. When he left office, he made his last appearance before the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and he says to them, why can't I have dinner with the 34% of the country that actually likes me? and you can't, can you imagine Donald Trump making that joke? No. But so Bush leaves office in 2009, and who among us would have thought, here's a great idea. Let's run George Bush again in 2020. Of course not. The guy just lost his favorability ratings in the 30s, and we're not going to run him for president. And the party would never stand for running him for president. Well, now we've got a guy that lost in 2020. We took it on the chin in 21. We lost a golden opportunity to take both houses of Congress in 22. And his favorability rating in the country is somewhere south of 40%, talking about Donald Trump. And yet, a number of people in my party think it's a great idea to nominate him for president again. And the parties are so weak that they have no ability to direct. Parties used to be about winning elections. Let's go find a candidate that can win. Well, here we've got a candidate that we're pretty darn sure is going to get beat in November of next year, and we are hell-bent on nominating him and offering him to the American people. I don't get it.
Maybe the biggest problem is he motivates in a very special way, in a unique way. He motivates people to want to vote against him, to want to leave their house to cast a ballot, to make sure he doesn't get elected, whereas otherwise they might just stay home.
Yeah, I think that's true. But that was also true of Hillary Clinton. Honestly, I mean, a lot of people. I may not have been the biggest Donald Trump fan in 2016, but man, Hillary Clinton. So yes, there's always a negative inducement to the vote and to drive the turnout. That's often the case. And Trump, though, I'll grant you that he's relatively unique in that regard.
Yeah, people hate politicians. I think he draws more hate, but he brings it on himself. It's not like it's out of nowhere and he doesn't deserve the animosity that people throw his way. He's earned a lot of it. Some of it I think is maybe unfair at times, but for the most part, that animosity he has earned.
Yeah. Michael and I had a conversation a few weeks ago, just a moment of self-reflection. And, people in our industry that elect candidates and run campaigns and put ads together, we have spent now more than a generation telling voters that every single person that runs for office in this country is thoroughly corrupt. They're stealing your money. They're corrupt. They're wrong on the issues.
And only I can fix
they're
it.
Dangerous for America. I mean, that's what. And so now we're shocked that most people in the country think politicians are corrupt and dangerous and wrong for America. We've spent billions of dollars.
Yeah, but now we've gotten to a place where right here in Missouri, we've got the Speaker of the House who's in trouble. Who's he go get? In the world to help him out, a Speaker of the House who got ran out under federal investigation and a personal sexual investigation. And I mean, nothing matters anymore to people. That's mind blowing that's who this man's turning to for advice, but nothing matters anymore. People don't care.
What's going to happen with him, with Dean Plocher?
Oh, that's a question for the Republicans. I sure feel like he's got himself in a terrible spot, but I mean, he's doubling down now with this Rod Jetton, who, kind of got ran out in the same way that Eric Greitens got ran out, not to the level of court proceedings, et cetera, but I don't get it.
I keep trying to reconcile the two contrasting currents we have in our country. One being that we're just incredibly unserious. We worship entertainment. We love the scandal and the baseness of reality show, which is why we would have so many people who would think, wouldn't it be hilarious if The Rock were president or if Taylor Swift were president? On the other side, we have those who are catastrophizing the other party, like Joe Biden. It will destroy America. And I'm quoting David French when he said, I don't think Joe Biden's quite the wrecking ball you think he is. But, the Flight 93 elections, as they're called, or Donald Trump being, exactly Hitler. Like I said, you can be really bad before you're Hitler, and Hitler is Hitler, and that's it. Donald Trump is awful. So how do you have one current that is incredibly unserious, where everything would be hilarious and funny? The other current is almost respectively end of times. This party spells the end of the country. Where's the middle?
But I guess I'm one of those people because I truly do believe that Donald Trump could be the end of our democracy. I mean, he's proven it.
I think what concerns me about that, I don't know if that will happen. I have concerns about it. My problem is the way he's speaking now and at his rallies. He's not talking about policy. He's not talking about what he wants to do to make the country better. It's about revenge. Yeah. It's about what's going to happen if I get back in office. Should that not concern everybody?
It should.
Well,
shouldn't it have concerned everybody that he still to this day says that he didn't win the election and he started an insurrection over it?
Well, let's say I agree. Donald Trump is a huge threat to our democracy. If you take him out and others in the Republican Party, would it be fair then to say, if Joe Biden could destroy the country, then the country's already lost,
right?
Because the president shouldn't be able to destroy a country.
I don't believe, as much as I despise Ron DeSantis, that he would be the end of our democracy,
right?
Or even, I can't believe I'm going to say this because I think he's the Antichrist. Ted Cruz.
He's Count Chocula.
He is.
Oh my gosh! Although. I don't know if you're familiar with the band Stryper, but look up the lead singer of Stryper.
Don't you even start talking about Stryper like you know.
I don't know. Kevin Wheeler told me.
You guys know about Stryper?
I do know about Stryper.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's how
was
I
a
was,
Christian
metal
rock
band.
hair band.
Sounds horrible.
From the 80s.
I grew up listening
had
to
two
Christian
Stryper
music.
tapes.
I don't know anything about them.
I had 2 Stryper cassette tapes.
Really?
Yeah.
Here,
they had a song called To Hell with the Devil.
Hey, now.
I'm not kidding.
Wow. Who got you into Stryper?
I had a friend in grade school. He's like, you got to listen to this group. They're amazing. And so.
Was his last name Mark Scores?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't know anything about them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. His first name was Mark. I can't remember his last name, but he got me in.
Mark Stryper.
No, it was not Stryper.
No.
Anyway.
Do we have to did you see this? Can't we just come back and talk to Amy? I want to find out more about this.
We're done,
this
buddy. They've got a segment sponsored by. We got to go.
Hancock doesn't want to hang out.
No, I do want to hang out, but I got to get to the post office.
He's got to get to the post office.
Get serious.
All right,
guys.
I'll just wait till Ranji goes on vacation. I guess Amy will have several more.
Yeah, you could talk
before that happens.
Oh, Amy's probably.
He goes to Chicago on Fridays and Mondays.
Amy's going to Morocco next week.
You were my one salvation in life. I tell everybody now when they give me trouble about traveling, I'm like, dude, Hancock, I'm not taking another bit of nonsense. Amy's the one who travels all the time.
I'm not the one who. It's just that I'm always here. So when I'm gone, it just leaves this.
Have we picked out the honeymoon
vacuum.
destination?
Maybe.
I thought you didn't want to talk about this. You had to get to the post office.
I got to get to the post office.
It's 10:49
Should we go to Italy,
almost.
John?
Yeah, we got to talk about what we're seeing and stuff.
Hancock and Kelly, love you both. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
By texting 26022, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Tax Lien Code. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at taxliencode.com.
Have you ever wondered how America's most successful people build their wealth? By investing in tax liens. And you can too. The Tax Lien Code Masterclass is coming right here to St. Louis, where you'll have the opportunity to learn the same simple blueprint that tax lien investor Brian Peterson and his partners have used to purchase over $40 million in tax liens. With tax lien investing, you can earn government-secured double-digit returns on your investment as high as 30%. And that's just the beginning. Listen, if you've ever been interested in real estate investing but weren't sure how to get started, this is your chance. No prior experience needed. For 2 free tickets to the 2-hour Tax Lien Code Masterclass right here in St. Louis, text code to 26022. Hurry, with high demand, seats will fill up. Text code to 26022. Get 2 free tickets now. Text code to 26022.
While no child should have to spend the holidays in the hospital, there are many at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital who will not be able to experience the joy of opening gifts around their tree. Please join KMOX and give the gift of hope and healing to Cardinal Glennon kids and support the Tree of Hope year-end giving campaign. Your gift ensures that these brave patients can continue to receive the critical care they need during these challenging times. Thank you for giving at treeofhope.org.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. 67 years ago, Renner Garage Door opened its first location. Fast forward to today, Renner is proud to serve the entire St. Louis metro area, St. Charles, South County, and Eastern Illinois. When you buy a Renner Garage Door, you know you're getting the best sales and service. Renner only uses premium components for their wide selection of garage doors and LiftMaster openers. Visit RennerDoorSTL.com or give them a call. Renner welcomes you to become part of the family. Renner Forward and Back, RENNER. Giddy up!
Hey, folks, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, I recently received the nicest email from a local business executive. It read, "Hey, Charlie, we had Morelli out today to do tuck pointing on our chimneys, and they did a great job. Pricing was fair, they had enough workers to get it done in a day, and the cleanup was exceptional. Thanks for the recommendation." If you've noticed loose bricks or missing mortar on the walls, patio, walkway, porch, or chimney of your home or business, contact the masonry specialists of St. Louis since 1991, Morelli Tuck Pointing. You know, this is the company that's won the Angie's List Super Service Award every year, back to back to back, since 2005. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com. And consult the reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
The greatest radio talk show host ever.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors on KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy on the show?
Amy, did you see, and do you have any money? You got any, first of all, let me ask you, have any money?
I do not.
Okay. Well, if you have some money,
Yeah.
Going up for auction
Mm-hmm.
is a first-class menu from the Titanic. It is an actual copy.
Wow.
Of an actual menu.
Not a copy, like an original menu.
I shouldn't say copy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an original, tangible menu. They expect it will cost about $86,000. The sale is going to happen tomorrow. And there are a lot of other memorabilia that'll be, that's scheduled to be sold at this thing that happens tomorrow. But $86,000
Yeah.
for a first-class menu from the Titanic. Would you buy it?
No, I wouldn't, because I feel like that's something. Okay, I'm not a collector anyway. I'm more of a purger. Like I purge stuff that's in the closets or basements, right? Like I don't like stuff. I'm like, oh, I haven't worn this coat in 6 months. I can get rid of it. And then, of course, it's winter and I need it. So I'm the opposite of a collector.
Okay.
But with this, don't you think that this should be in a museum? like
it belongs in a museum.
That's exactly right.
About,
That's how I feel.
What about a tartan? Is it tartan or tartan?
Tartan.
Tartan. What about a tartan blanket used by a survivor to stay warm in a lifeboat?
No.
This is how much it would cost. $123,000 approximately.
Okay.
That's the guess.
Also,
I would buy that.
No, because there's something kind of sacred and sad about that. Like that should be in a museum to teach history, not some wealthy guy going, "Hey, look at the stuff I got." You know what I mean? Like that. Look at this. Isn't this cool? Some poor chap used this to stay warm when everyone around him was dying.
I think that would be amazing to have something like that.
I don't collect any. I'm trying to think of something that I would collect. I'm the opposite of a collector.
I believe it'll either be next week or the week after. We are going to have on the show Bill Mercer, who was a broadcaster in Dallas.
Yeah.
And he was broadcasting from the Dallas police station when Lee Oswald was arrested. And it was just absolute chaos. His name's Bill Mercer. And he went on to announce wrestling and stuff. Guy's been everywhere. But anyway, he's going to join us next week. And this year, the sixth floor museum in Dallas acquired, if you've seen any of the footage from that day from the police station, the press conferences that happened, there's this KRLD camera that's prominent in all the shots. And now that camera is in the sixth floor museum, and they showed it to Bill Mercer because that was the camera he was using. The very cool thing. And it's kind of a morbid object, but I also think it's very cool, right?
But if it's, I know, I agree. Just like I think the blanket is morbid and sad and somewhat sacred. Should that go in a collector's house? A friend of mine, her grandpa played for the St. Louis Browns.
Yeah.
And they really wanted his jersey because it's the grandpa, but I guess there's a collector in China
Oh,
who like could outbid them. Yeah. So this collector in China got this jersey. I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
Special stuff like this should be in a museum.
Would you like to know what was on the menu April 11th on the Titanic? Oysters, sirloin of beef with horseradish cream, pureed parsnips, and apricot bordaloo, and Victoria pudding. That's what they had. And then 2 days later, they died. So, well, 4 days later.
Victoria pudding sounds like a guest.
Oh, speaking of guests, we got a great one coming up. Major Garrett is next on KMOX.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW, a family-owned dealership group that has been around for 50 years as a Toyota dealer and 25 years in O'Fallon, Illinois. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
You couldn't pick a worse time to sell your home. Sure, your home is worth a small fortune right now, but are you really going to swap your 2 or 3% current interest rate and pay 7 or 8% interest on a new house? No way. You don't have to with the Get Paid and Stay program from Truehold. This is ingenious. With the Get Paid and Stay program, Truehold will buy your home now at its best current value. You bank the cash and stay in your home until interest rates come back down, or as long as you like. It's your call. Plus, you won't have to pay property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold pays those expenses. Learn about Truehold's Get Paid and Stay program. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
STL today, the vote is in, and there's no need for a recount. I'm Jim Onder, and I want to thank you, the people of St. Louis, for acknowledging my team at Onder Law as STL Today's 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. As always, we will continue our mission to hold companies accountable, change the way they do business, and make St. Louis a safer place.
When you're injured, you need the best. Call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, visit mersgoodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
Manchester Coin & Jewelry is the estate buyers. They buy collectibles from vintage toy trains, musical instruments, military, and more. Located on Manchester Road west of 141. It's Manchester Coin & Jewelry.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family. Available at Walgreens and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 53 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. Our top story this hour, a shooting this morning on 141 in Fenton.
One man is dead following a shooting that occurred on 141 at Gravway Bluffs, right at the bottom of the hill of the IHOP restaurant. According to police, they were called to the area for a traffic hazard, and upon arriving at the scene, saw a male victim suffering from a gunshot wound. He would die en route to an area hospital to receive treatment. Police aren't giving much information at this time. What we can surmise from the scene is that a white pickup truck pulling a pair of ride-on mowers is involved. They were taking photos of the interior of the vehicle, and there were evidence tents placed outside some objects around the vehicle. In Gravway Bluffs, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
As hospitals are targeted in Gaza, there's a dire warning from an international aid group. Let's get more from CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick.
The International Committee of the Red Cross says the healthcare system in Gaza has reached a point of no return, risking the lives of thousands of wounded, sick, and displaced people. It's calling for the respect and protection of medical facilities, patients, and healthcare workers, and says hospitals are running on thin supplies and increasingly unsafe and protected under humanitarian law.
The judge in former President Trump's Florida classified records prosecution has ordered the trial will remain scheduled before the 2024 election. CBS News correspondent Scott McFarlane has more.
At least for now, federal judge Eileen Cannon is keeping Donald Trump's Florida criminal trial on the calendar where it is, May 20th, 2024. This is in the alleged mishandling and unlawful possession of classified records case. She's pushing back some of the pretrial motion deadlines and will revisit this March 1st during a scheduling conference, which happens to be just before Donald Trump's election conspiracy trial begins in D.C.
Thanking veterans, honoring their service. Those are the themes of Saturday's Veterans Day observation downtown. There's a 5K run to benefit homeless veterans, plus the annual parade, which goes by the Soldiers Memorial Military Museum. Director Mark Sunlove says there's also a demonstration that people won't want to miss.
The Center for Counter Explosives out of Fort Leonard Wood will be here, and they're bringing dogs and robots to show us how they detect and diffuse explosives. Kids will love that, but I think we're all really going to be interested by that.
Activities wrap up with a ceremony at Soldiers Memorial at 11:30. From the KMOX business desk, Illinois lawmakers wrapped up their fall veto session Thursday without reauthorizing the Invest in Kids Scholarship Program, which sunsets at the end of this year.
Capital News Illinois reports the program offers state income tax credits for people who contribute to private school scholarship funds. Critics argued the program siphoned money away from public schools. More than 9,000 elementary and high school students in Illinois currently receive scholarships to attend private or parochial schools. They may have to find another way to pay for their education next year. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Dow from Stifel this hour up 171 points at 34,063. The weather is sponsored by Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. We're looking for sunny skies today, a high of 58 degrees. For tonight, clear and colder with an overnight low of 36. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high 57. Right now, we have 53 degrees in Florissant, 52 in St. Peters, and sunny skies, 53 degrees downtown at the Arch. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Chris and Amy on KMOX, hour 2 of the show. Every day, 10 to 1 on the Odyssey app, on 98.7 FM, on 1120 AM, obviously, and KMOX.com. And we go to the Quiver River Electric guest line this morning. This is an unusual day for us. I don't even know what to do about it. Usually we talk to Major Garrett on Thursdays at 10:30, but we're talking to him today here on KMOX. Good morning, Major.
Good morning. How are you? Sorry to
Well-
put such a profound ripple in the universe.
Well-
My apologies.
Well, listen, we could not stop talking about it. It's all we've
No.
talked
Well,
about
you know
for
what this
12
is like?
hours.
My grandparents were very regimented, and they would have like cornflakes on Wednesday,
Yes.
and eggs on
Yes.
Thursday. And here's one thing you knew at my grandparents' house. You had-
People's Court at 4:30?
yes, you
Yeah.
had cornflakes on Wednesday, no other day, and that's you're the cornflake on the wrong day.
That's exactly what happened.
I'm going to add that to my business card.
The cornflakes on the wrong day. Major Garrett, Chief
It's going to say as follows. It's going to read as follows. Major Garrett, Chief Washington correspondent, cornflake on the wrong day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, Major, we love you.
Not only is Major Garrett the Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News, but he is the author of The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie, the Takeout podcast. He's the host, and the new podcast, Agent of Betrayal, The Double Life of Robert Hansen, which is good. Let's talk some politics here.
Sure.
Let's start with Joe Manchin, who made the announcement that he is not going to run for re-election next year. That seems that'll probably have some big ripple effects.
It will. And I talked to Michigan Democratic Senator Gary Peters about a week and a half ago. He is the chairman of the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. His first job is to make sure all Democrats who are in the Senate run for re-election and then win. And I asked him about Joe Manchin. The question I put to him was as follows. West Virginia is a lost cause, isn't it? Meaning, even if Manchin runs, he would probably lose. And Gary Peters said, oh, no. If Manchin runs, he's going to win. And the DSCC, the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, had put together polls showing Manchin trailing only by 4 points. I ran that by all of Manchin's inner circle, and they said, look, they can show us whatever poll they want. We know that he would, if he ran, would not win re-election. He doesn't want to run and lose. He wants to end on a high note in West Virginia, so he's in all probability not going to seek re-election. That wasn't clarified until absolutely yesterday, and that means that the West Virginia Senate seat is going to go to the Republicans. There's no question about that. And Democrats aren't going to spend any money in West Virginia. Republicans will have to spend less, and that means all the other competitive seats on the map, particularly Democrats defending seats in Ohio and Montana, starting there, but also Pennsylvania, are going to get the money Republicans might have spent in West Virginia to defeat Joe Manchin. More of it's going to go into those competitive states. So it complicates the map for Democrats in their pursuit of holding the Senate in 2024.
Major, as we look at this current political landscape, the elections we've had, the midterms and the red wave that never was, and then the upcoming presidential election, in what ways and or because of what factors is 2024's critical features going to be different than previous elections? Meaning, what's important about whether it be abortion, whether it be negative partisanship, what drives that 2024 election?
So what drives elections is not only the facts around them, the candidates that voters have to choose from, but the behavioral patterns that precede the elections. And I listed the behavioral patterns last because they are the most fluid, they are the most fluctuating. And yet, there is something worth noting about the behavioral patterns, not just Tuesday, but in the 2022 midterms, the 2020 election. And that is this, that in suburban America and in exurban America, meaning just outside of suburbs, Donald Trump and the Republicans have a problem. And it showed up in 2020. It showed up again in 2022. It showed up again on Tuesday, which is their ability to rally their supporters, find the supporters that were there in 2016 and 2018, has been declining. And it's declined more drastically in the suburbs and the exurbs since the Dobbs decision repealing Roe versus Wade and a nationwide constitutional guarantee to access to abortion. And that's a behavioral pattern that I think is worth noting, because even when there are competitive races, as there were in the Virginia state legislative races, and everyone had plenty of money. There was money sloshing all around Virginia. Everyone who was a candidate on the Republican and Democratic side, had plenty of money, plenty of attention focused on those issues. It was all about turnout. And Republicans lost. They lost House of Delegates races and they lost state Senate races. And a big setback for Governor Youngkin. They lost in Ohio on abortion. They lost a governor's race in Kentucky. They narrowly avoided a runoff in the Mississippi governor race with the Republican Tate Reeves seeking re-election. So it's all going to be about the facts. What's the country's mood? Who are the candidates in 2024? But this behavioral pattern cannot be ignored. And one of the things that's important about this behavioral pattern is it's not consistent with polling data, meaning the polls show something that looks one way, but the actual voting patterns are different than that. It was true in 2024, and it was certainly true on Tuesday. That's worth keeping in mind as we head toward the next election year.
Visiting with Major Garrett here on KMOX. We've had so much going on. There was the election earlier this week, as we've been talking about. There was the debates. There's been worldwide conflict. There's just all kinds of stuff going on. It seems to have been lost that we are a week away from a potential shutdown here. Again, we're doing this again. So what's the progress being made there?
Very negligible. There's a new Speaker of the House. That means the House is functioning. But the new Speaker of the House is running into same problems that the previous Speaker of the House ran into, which is you cannot get consensus among House Republicans, even on the easier spending bills to pass. 2 spending bills were set to come to the House floor this week. Neither made it across the finish line because Republicans simply couldn't agree. And until Republicans can agree on what they want and what they're willing to vote for in public, that process bogs down. And without that process, you have to do a continuing resolution. You have to do another stopgap spending bill to avoid a shutdown. And we don't know what the attitude of new Speaker Mike Johnson is about that. He has all these other concepts about, well, maybe we do it in a laddered sort of way. Nobody even knows what that means. His own staff doesn't know what it means. So there is still a dimension of chaos and uncertainty among House Republicans. That destabilizes all of this. And it gives the White House and Senate Democrats comparatively more leverage because at least they know what they're for and they're willing to vote for, and they can vote for it as soon as it comes to the floor. And the president knows what he will sign. House Republicans don't know what they're for, can't organize themselves to demonstrate that, so that gives them less power. But we're heading toward another shutdown in a week right before Thanksgiving. Not a good way to go into the holiday.
We were talking about the potential presidential candidates for the Democrats and Republican, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, both of them facing respective unpopularity in some ways and popularity in others. When I look at a Nikki Haley, I see a actual Republican politician with experience, and I think, man, I think she could beat Joe Biden. Then you look at a Washington Post poll or some of the polls that are coming out and how a generic Democrat, who's maybe a bit more moderate, could beat Donald Trump.
Right.
Are the parties missing something where if one of them would just go for it and switch their candidate, my goodness, they could have a chance of winning?
So there's always something to be nervous about and cautious about when you look at the generic Democrat, okay, or the generic Republican, because the generic person is one who fulfills everyone's dreams and aspirations because they don't have a record. They don't have anything that's negative. They have only your aspirations and hopes and dreams. So they typically poll very well, the generic person. The actual person typically polls poorly against the generic because they're weighted down by reality, theirs and the reality placed upon them by their record and their rhetoric and everything else and their biography. I don't know if the Democrats and the Republicans are missing something. Republicans seem to be hell-bent, might be too strong a word, but at times it feels that way about renominating a former President Trump. Democrats only have reservations about President Biden in private. They have no reservations or very few reservations about him in public. And we've had this conversation before. I'm going to say it over and over again. Everything looks completely set, and under the surface has never felt more fluid to me. Hey, Joel, I can't explain to you what's going to happen, why I don't think Biden's not going to be the nominee. I have doubts about that, or why Trump's going to be the nominee and why I have doubts about that. I can't put my finger on it. I can't explain it. I can't articulate it. It just doesn't feel as certain to me as it looks in the polls. And we learned on Tuesday, again, the limitations of polling data. It can only show you directions and attitudes, not actual behavior. So we'll have to see. I know it looks fixed. I don't mean fixed in a rigged sense. I mean set in stone. It looks set in stone. It just doesn't feel that way to me.
What if it's The Rock?
Well, I don't exactly know what that would mean, but I don't rule it out. I can't rule anything out. I can't, and you certainly can't rule out anyone in the celebrity realm of American politics. You just can't.
He was on the Trevor Noah podcast and said that political parties, he did not specify if it was, the two main parties, if it was third parties, whatever, did approach him at the end of last year about the possibility of running because his polling was good and they had done some research.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I mean, you don't ever want to count anything out, but
well, and the other thing is, and this is one of the things that goes back to the conversation a second ago about the generic person. The celebrity is a near generic person because they don't have a political pedigree. They don't have all the baggage and the weight of having been in politics, but they're popular. You have an image of them already. So they work in that sense. They're almost like the generic Republican or generic Democrat because you can invest in them all of your hopes and dreams because they're a celebrity. You actually know who they are and have some sense about them. So this is why celebrities are more attractive in politics than they used to be.
Major, this is kind of a 30,000-foot question, but I can find myself becoming cynical. So I want to hear it from you. In this next year, up to 2024, what is your greatest concern as far as our politics goes? And what is your thickest thread of hope and optimism as far as our politics go?
Well, let me start with hope and optimism. And this is really important. We had another election on Tuesday. And in Kentucky and in Mississippi, the losing gubernatorial candidate conceded and gave a very generous complimentary speech to the victor. Both instances, the candidates who conceded lost by smaller vote margins than Donald Trump did in 2020 in Michigan and Pennsylvania, races he's never conceded. Forbearance is crucial in American politics, and part of forbearance, meaning you want to extend this great American democratic experiment, is to concede when you lose and accept the results and wish your victor well. That's happening. That happened Tuesday in full public view, and we don't celebrate it enough. That gives me hope. We are reorienting ourselves to the fundamental truths and the fundamental strength of our system. Every time that happens, we reorient ourselves positively in the right direction. The thing I worry about is there are 5 states right now in which some sort of chemical, possibly fentanyl, was sent to election workers to scare them, to harm them. People still don't understand how well we run elections, how many Americans participate either as volunteers or very underpaid civil servants to make sure our elections are sound, verifiable, predictable, and believable. That's what worries me. So we have two sides of the very same coin. But I don't want to let go of the idea that conceding and wishing your victor well is essential. And we're seeing a return to it, and I applaud it every time it happens.
Do you think that would hold in the next election if Trump is the nominee and he loses again?
No, of course it won't. I don't believe anything. I don't believe he has given me and this country no confidence whatsoever that he will do the right thing when it comes to a fair, verified, and legal election.
So who's on the podcast this week, The Takeout?
So we were talking about all the things going on in the world. Well, among the biggest things going on in the world right now is the war between Israel and Gaza. And we have the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Jack Reed, talking about all dimensions of that conflict and the prospects for future additional assistance to Ukraine and the risks if we don't, meaning if Congress doesn't provide it.
Major Garrett, we will talk to you next Thursday at 10:30.
Thanks. Thanks.
That is Major Garrett. He is the chief Washington correspondent for CBS News, at Major Garrett on Twitter. And the Takeout podcast you can hear on the Odyssey app, where you can also hear this show live and our podcasts. If you miss anything, go back and get them. They're awesome. Our podcasts are awesome.
Oh, it's great. Sometimes I go back and listen 2, 3, 4 times.
And then you think, I already did this today. Why am I doing it again?
That's right.
Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
I've been asked 1,000 times, did you plan on becoming the largest injury law firm in the world? And the answer is no. When I started, there were just 2 of us. Today, Morgan & Morgan has almost 800 lawyers alone. No injury firm in the country has anywhere close to that. We set out to be focused on our clients and to have a commitment to trying cases and winning. And when you have those results at trial, you're able to settle most of your cases quickly and fairly. Reputation matters. We grew like this because we worked hard, and so many former clients referred family and friends. And what I believe is the main reason is we delivered for our clients a lot. Hard work and client satisfaction was our plan. It worked. Hope is not a plan. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The Social Security Trust Fund could run out of money in just 10 years. Does this change when you should file for your benefits? Don't miss Your Retirement Professors, Saturday afternoon at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
What do you mean he's not coming in? This is our busiest time.
The mixologist at Claude's Bar is moving to Manhattan.
I'm already down 2 bar backs. No one's manning front of
Now he needs an equally cosmopolitan replacement.
How am I going to find a new bartender before New Year's Eve?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey. You are not alone if when you hear those ads or see those signs saying we will buy your home for cash, that you're just a few short minutes away from a real lowball offer, right? Well, I was talking to Gloria about that. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And here's what she told me. It's crucial that you know the truth about these cash offer companies because you spend years earning equity in your home and then you decide to sell. A cash investment company buys your home for 15% below market value, puts a little TLC into it, then sells it for 10% above its original true market value. But here's what I can tell you. Gloria Liu is different. She has multiple cash buyers who bid against each other, giving you the highest cash offers to choose from with zero hassles, no showings, and close quickly. So learn more about getting multiple cash offers today. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-728-8500. 800-728-8500. That's 800-728-8500.
Best newscast in the country. The KMOX Newsroom, national winner of the Edward R. Murrow Award for Best Newscast in America.
Amy, I have to admit something. I did something that's kind of out of character for me. I called customer service.
You asked for the manager, basically?
I asked for the manager. I did it. It's
for.
And I'm going to tell you something. I don't feel a bit bad about it.
Name the company.
There is a coffee. There's a local coffee place.
Yeah.
It rhymes with Harbucks. Okay. And I went to this place that I go to occasionally, the one in my neighborhood, and it's happened a few times. I've filed this complaint with you a number of times about how
you file so many complaints with me that I
got more. This place, and it's not the fault of the people who work there. It just isn't. You know
it's
how
the system.
It's the system. It's the people who order and are allowed to order DoorDash and Uber Eats, and they don't just get coffee for themselves or coffee or two.
Don't say coffee. Just say one coffee or two coffees. Yeah.
They don't get they don't get one or two. They get 12.
Right.
Or they get 16.
The whole office.
So every time I go to this place, and I've learned my lesson, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm just not going. Because there are 20 to 30 people standing around waiting, but they're filling an order for somebody who's, I'm going to be nice and get everybody on the floor. I'm buying coffee. No. So I actually called the Starbucks customer service, and I've never done this before.
Yep.
And I said, listen to me. It is not the fault of and I said it just like this.
Yeah.
It is not the fault of the people who work there, but I need you to pass this along, please, to somebody who can possibly make a difference.
Mr. Starbuck.
I swear to God, I'm doing it like this. I don't know if it's you or if it's somebody you work with. And she said, well, I'll tell you what. Her name was Jennifer. Very nice. A family from Crestwood, by the way. We got to know each other.
Wow.
And she said, well, I'm the right person because I am very thorough and I will make sure this gets heard. And I said, you know what? Thank you. Here's what I need from you. I need you to make it impossible to order more than two things on the app. You don't get to Uber Eats for the office and make 20 people stand around waiting for their order because you're too damn lazy to go get it yourself. The rest of your office is too lazy to get it for themselves because these drivers are coming in. These poor drivers have to stand there and then pick up these bags. I saw a guy walk out with 3 bags full of beverages, giant bags.
That's not even a good financial decision.
It doesn't. Well, because it's for the office.
Bad.
You know? So
what did she say? So you said that to her.
She said she was going to shoot it right up the pole, man. I'm telling you, I think I have effectively, single-handedly ruined it for all you buttholes who are too lazy to go get your own damn coffee.
Listen, I think
I did it. It was effective, and I'm happy. Screw you.
I think
taking up my time.
She's going to tell them. They're going to tell her to tell you to shoot it right up something.
I hope they. I was super calm. I did a great job.
It sounds like
you're all
calm.
Screwed now, people.
My big takeaway from the story is Starbucks has real people answering the phone on customer service.
Mike Claiborne is next.
Hey guys, it's Dave from the Dave Glover Show, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on KMOX. This promo is going to sound like everyone else's promo, but everyone else's promo is a lie. They're just copying off of us. We are the original show about nothing. We're the original show about everything. We're just a bunch of smart people acting stupid and stupid people acting smart. And when you put it all together, it's a pretty good mix. We are 23 years in, and we are STLAF. That's the DGS, 1 to 5 p.m. KMOX.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1979. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1979. That's 800-777-1979. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. 800-777-1979.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan. In celebration of McKelvey Homes' 125th anniversary, we're having our biggest sale of the year. Save up to $89,000, get special financing in the 5s, and free closing costs on all move-in ready homes. Visit The Preserve on Mackenzie Road near Watson for a variety of homes from the 400s, or Inverness in St. Charles at Bryan and Feisey Road. Don't miss this opportunity to save big and get in before the holidays. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
The Musial Awards return to Stiefel Theater this fall. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event Saturday, November 18th. Named for Stan the Man, the awards celebrate those who embody extraordinary sportsmanship. Come walk the red carpet and experience the most inspiring night in sports. It's a show you don't want to miss and a perfect way to kick off the holiday season. The Musial Awards, presented by Maryville University, Saturday, November 18th. Tickets at musialawards.com.
At 11:30, we have sunny skies, 53 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. In the news, St. Louis County Police now say a deadly shooting on 141 at Gravois Bluffs was the result of road rage. Investigators say the victim and suspect stopped their vehicles in the roadway sometime around 8 this morning and launched into a verbal argument. It ended in one shooting the other. The suspect is in custody. The investigation is ongoing. There are big plant-to-plant and company-to-company differences as auto workers vote on their new tentative agreements, Jeff Gilbert explains.
The tightest ratification races are at GM, where the contract's passing by a 54 to 46% margin. Some locals, notably Flint Assembly, voted against it. The yes margin's a lot wider at Ford, closer to 70-30. Workers at a number of big auto plants have yet to vote.
The futuristic B-21 Raider warplane has taken its first flight, moving it closer to becoming the nation's next nuclear weapons stealth bomber. The Raider on Friday flew out of Palmdale, California, where it's been under testing and development by Northrop Grumman. The forecast for today is calling for sunny skies. We'll have a high around 58 degrees. It'll be cool tonight, an overnight low of 36, and mostly sunny tomorrow again with a high of 57. Right now, sunny skies, 53 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Broadcasting from the Underline Tree Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
While no child should have to spend the holidays in the hospital, there are many at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital who will not be able to experience the joy of opening gifts around their tree. Please join KMOX and give the gift of hope and healing to Cardinal Glennon kids and support the Tree of Hope year-end giving campaign. Your gift ensures that these brave patients can continue to receive the critical care they need during these challenging times. Thank you for giving at treeofhope.org.
By texting 26022, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Tax Lien Code. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at taxliencode.com.
Have you ever wondered how America's most successful people build their wealth? By investing in tax liens. And you can too. The Tax Lien Code Masterclass is coming right here to St. Louis, where you'll have the opportunity to learn the same simple blueprint that tax lien investor Brian Peterson and his partners have used to purchase over $40 million in tax liens. With tax lien investing, you can earn government-secured double-digit returns on your investment as high as 30%. And that's just the beginning. Listen, if you've ever been interested in real estate investing but weren't sure how to get started, this is your chance. No prior experience needed. For 2 free tickets to the 2-hour Tax Lien Code Masterclass right here in St. Louis, text code to 26022. Hurry, with high demand, seats will fill up. Text code to 26022. Get 2 free tickets now. Text code to 26022.
It's men's Billikens basketball action tomorrow as they take on Illinois State. Pre-game 6:47. Tip at 7. Hear the game here on your home for Billikens basketball. KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. It's a terrific Friday.
It's a great Friday.
It is a great Friday.
You know why? We had a heart-to-heart today before the show. Anyway, Mike Claiborne's here, too.
We do that all the time.
I know. Mike, we always have heart-to-hearts.
Quiver River Electric guest line. Mike Claiborne is with us. What's going on, Mike?
Amy and Ranger.
Yeah, Amy and
heart to heart.
That's
you
right.
know,
most of it's just him telling me to calm down.
Did you all hug it out?
No.
I think I gave her a head tap when it was over, and I said, "You're
well,
okay."
That's
par for you. Yeah.
It is. So we were just talking, and I know that you're a person who has consideration for others. Claibs, you would never,
yeah, especially the people I like.
You would never go to Starbucks and order 15 things ahead of time and
They
make
forget
all those
you?
people wait behind you.
Oh no! Hey, listen. There's a price to pay to stay in line.
That's exactly.
So when but the thing is, when you get there,
mm-hmm.
If you're patient enough to get there, then you're entitled to get whatever you want for how long it takes.
Even if you're inconveniencing other people. What if you're ordering ahead and you order, a bunch of stuff for the entire floor in your office? That's unacceptable, yeah?
No. I mean, if I order ahead, that gives them a chance to prepare, and therefore my wait in line won't be as long, and I won't inconvenience the other customers.
That sounds good, but in practice, that's not how it actually works out. Here's what I've just thought of it. This is what it's like. You ever stood in line for the club, and you're 30 people back or whatever, 20 people back, and some dude rolls up with 15 of his own people, and the bouncer just pulls open the rope and lets them all in front of you? That's what it feels like when you're waiting at Starbucks for your order and some clown has ordered 15 drinks for the office.
Well, but see, here's the thing. I'm not a big line person. If the line's too long, I'll just go do something else.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I'm not that person that's going to stand in line. And you mentioned the club thing. I'm that person they're raising the rope for.
That's exactly right. Claibs is the guy.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't do lines well.
Yeah, me neither. But I don't bring 15 people with me. So
well, that's the difference. Neither of you do
that's 'cause
lines.
you don't know 15 people. So, I mean, there's a reason why.
No. I know 15 people. I just don't like 15 people. There's a difference.
Good point. Very good point.
Winter meetings are coming up in less than a month. The general manager meetings just finished up in Arizona. Anything that happened this week that is noteworthy to you?
Well, I think that the seeds have been planted for deals, not just free agent signings, but also trades, and not just the Cardinals. I think this is a great spawning ground for what's going to happen here in the next few weeks. And there's some other things that had to be discussed. There were some interviews that took place as far as people in front offices who were looking for jobs and managers who were looking for jobs. But the winter meetings is when we bring everybody together. And it's not just general managers, and it's front office personnel, whether it's sales or the equipment people, you name it, everybody's there. But this year, I think you have something to take a look at, and that is, there's not a great dearth of talent out there. Okay, so you have to go out and make your move, and somebody's going to overpay for a player in some way, shape, or form. But I don't think we're going to see this thing wait until right before spring training before a player's assignment. I think there's an urgency on behalf of some teams to not only get their team and roster put together, but also to appease their fans. And I would think, when you look around, especially if you start with the Cardinals, I think they'd like to have things done sooner than later because everybody's waiting on them to do something to improve the team from last season. But I look at a lot of other teams that are around baseball who probably are in the same situation. And I don't think they can afford to wait because there isn't a plan C. There may be a plan B, but I don't know if there's enough players around to have a plan C. And in that case, you're either getting someone who's overvalued, and then you're going to end up paying them too much. And then you're going to look around in July and say, who thought this was a good idea?
Claibs, we heard from, I think it was John Mozeliak, who said the Cardinals are going to spend about the same this year as they projected or had their cap at 2023. Do you think that the Cardinals can put together a team as competitive as it needs to be, a potentially World Series winning team with that price tag, that same price tag?
Well, I think here's the X factor. He's saying spending the same amount of money, but there are players that are coming off the books from this past season, namely a guy like Adam Wainwright and Drew Verhagen and some other players. So they're just reinvesting that money that's coming off the books. Now, let's face it, if there's something that's really tantalizing, I'm sure they'll, say, oh, well, maybe we'll go a little bit further. But I think you can be a competitive team if you spend your money wisely, and they've done that for the most part. They've been better at trades and free agent signings, but I think overall, I don't have a real problem with that. And I'm sure there's a give or take of a few million, as I said, if there's that one player that really puts you over the top.
I know that Cardinals, historically, at least in the last 20 or so years, have not really been inclined to scale back at all. They have always at least said they are trying to compete and have added or retooled the roster. Is it possible, though, that maybe even as soon as next year, though they say they want to be competitive, if they look at the landscape and realize we're not going to be able to address these pitching needs the way we want to, that they might pare back just a little bit? And I don't want to call it a rebuild, but maybe, I guess maybe a rebuild light. Could they do that?
That's kind of like a taboo word, rebuild, because it's really basically telling your fans, we're not going to be any good. You really shouldn't come out. But however, we got some young players. Give us another year or two. There's some organizations that have tried that and it doesn't work. And I don't think that will work in St. Louis. They're not that far away. If they address their pitching needs, their offense was solid, but they have to address their pitching needs from not just starters, but I think address the bullpen. I mean, you blew over 30 saves last year in the bullpen. So you have to retool 13 pitchers. You have to make sure you go out and find 13 pitchers that are going to be better than what you had last year. And now, can you do it? Yeah, you can do it. Are you going to have to spend money? Perhaps. Are you going to have to trade a player or two? Possible. So you have to look at all the options. So it's one of those deals where everything is on the table. And I know people talk about, Cardinals, are they going to spend money? They've spent money in the past. I always remind people they have $60 million worth of two infielders in Arenado and Goldschmidt. That's a lot of money. And they have a catcher that's making a lot of money. Now they have some other positions where they haven't had to spend money because of youth. But when the Cardinals have wanted to spend money, they have. And when you look back at the history, there's only two free agents that left here because they were outbid. Albert going to the Angels, and a deal that everybody thought wasn't going to work, and it didn't because he wasn't any better there than he was here. And Jason Hayward, he was only here for 1 year, but it was the best season he had as a player. He went on to Chicago and was with the Dodgers this year. Those are the only two guys that left that they were outbid on, and those two deals did not work for the team that bid on them. So they've been able to do a pretty decent job in maintaining players and keeping players. Nobody talks about keeping Matt Holliday. You kept Yachty, you kept Waino, you kept other players here from going out on the free agent market. So I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do that again with regard to bringing in more players. And as you just mentioned, spend money.
Mike Claiborne, good to talk to you again. Let's, you know what I was thinking? Let's do it again next Friday.
You know what? I think I'm available next Friday.
Actually, there is a possibility, just a slight possibility, we don't have a very long show next Friday because of SLU basketball.
They're playing in a tournament or something?
There's a tournament. They play Thursday, Friday. I think if they win game one, which is a Thursday afternoon,
well, they'll win.
They'll play early. Wyoming.
The Cowboys.
Yeah,
well, they'll win.
Yeah, Josh Allen ain't out there. So if they play, I think if they win Thursday, they will play at like 11 a.m. on Friday, which means we've got a pretty short show. So there would be no Claibs.
Oh.
We'll keep you posted.
I don't know how you can get through a weekend without that.
Well,
I mean,
it's
what I look forward to.
I like to keep you on call as it is, so you can do it again.
Well, I am here to serve at your pleasure.
I love you, man. You're the best.
Oh,
thank you, Claibs.
Thanks, Claibs.
Always good. You guys have a great, safe weekend. Amy, you doing any running this weekend?
No, I'm like almost retired. I am
Yeah.
taking a break, an extended break. I'm gonna run for fun, but no training. I gotta recover a bit from this marathon. I was hanging on by a thread.
Well, you finished, and that's all that counts.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Clay.
That's all that counts.
Thank
All right, you guys have a great weekend. Take care.
Alrighty, you too.
Mike Claiborne with us on the Cardinals broadcast, which you can hear here on KMOX. And you also can hear Cardinals games on the Odyssey app if you are in the St. Louis area at the time. Scott Jagile from the newsroom. He's coming up next on KMOX.
Just imagine getting net returns of 32%, 36%, 27%, 9%, 33%, 21%, 18%, 4%, 10%, even 35%. Well, you don't have to imagine anymore with Masterworks, the premier platform for investing in blue chip art. Masterworks has over 810,000 registered users and 16 exits to date that have paid out tens of millions in net proceeds. Although with Masterworks, you don't need millions to start investing. No wonder some of Masterworks' new offerings have sold out in minutes. Luckily, listeners can now skip the waitlist at masterworks.com, promo code MARS. That's masterworks.com, promo code MARS. Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. Important Regulation A disclosures and aggregate advisory performance at masterworks.com/CD.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
When choosing a skilled nursing memory care community, considered by U.S. News and World Reports as a best memory care community, choose Park Provence, where expert care is not cost prohibitive because they understand the challenges of today. For nearly 20 years, Park Provence has been the experts at treating dementia and Alzheimer's disease. If you're faced with making a difficult decision for your loved one, call today at 314-542-2500 or visit parkprovence.com. That's PARC Provence.com.
It's football season at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, featuring the best pool in history. Stadium Square, 3 levels, 6 pools, and a 143-foot diagonal screen. Stadium Swim is America's favorite place to watch football.
Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Stadium Swim, located at Circa Resort and Casino. Book today at CircaLasVegas.com. That's CircaLasVegas.com.
Attention veterans and active military. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is doubling their usual veterans discount on all products and services in November. That means veterans and active military get 10% off all month at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Choose a new garage door opener, or any service or repair and save 10%. Schedule a free in-home estimate for your new garage door or schedule your annual garage door tune-up before winter really sets in. Schedule online, overheaddoorsstlouis.com, 314-781-5200.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote, 800-221-6319. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-221-6319. 800-221-6319 or go to oxcarcare.com.
Did you know that St. Louis Composting has an array of STA-certified compost, soil, and mulch products that are available by the bag or by the truckload? It's the healthy, all-natural, cold-weather dyed for your garden and lawn. For more information, visit stlcompost.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman. Check out the only agents that I trust at thegelmanteam.com.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews, and if invasive plants and trees have overtaken your pasture, roads, trails, or dams, then you need Missouri Brush Control. Their special forestry mulching equipment helps landowners reclaim their property. Enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. To learn more, visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
We're back! Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors on KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. We got Scott Jagow in from the newsroom. He's hanging out with us as he always does on Friday about this time. Tom Petty, man.
I caught this documentary. It's brand new. I think it just came out this week on Netflix about the making of the Wildflowers album back in 1995. It is a beautiful documentary. They found all this 16 millimeter black and white footage of the sessions. And they have all these interviews with the band members and with the producer, Rick Rubin. And then they, show them playing some of the songs from the album. And they also have now released about 10 tracks that didn't make the album. So you hear some of those. And it is just a gorgeous documentary. And I just had to talk about it. I want to talk about it for my 3 good things this weekend.
It's awesome.
Because I caught it and then I was almost in tears by the end of it. And of course, it's been 6 years now since Tom Petty died. It feels like yesterday.
It does really feel like a couple
thought it
years
was
ago.
last year.
No, it was 2017.
Oh, that's wild. It does not feel like that.
I know, October 2nd, 2017. I looked it up.
You mentioned Rick Rubin. He is an interesting guy because he's not a musician.
He doesn't play an instrument.
He knows what sounds good.
That is exactly his description that I would use. He's also covered all genres.
Oh, Jay-Z, there's
the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, heavy metal, this Tom Petty album he produced, the Avett Brothers. I mean, I could go on and on. The guy has an ear like you wouldn't believe. And a beard, also a beard like you wouldn't. He looks like Santa Claus. You see his beard? It's like down to his knees.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. He's got these. He looks like a mountain man.
He looks like ZZ Top.
Yeah, he does ZZ Top. That's good. Yeah.
And that's such a skill, though, because it's the same thing as you can be the best player ever and Wayne Gretzky in hockey and not be a good coach when it comes to music producing, to be able to know what sounds good. That makes or breaks it. I think even as a musician, sometimes, not always, but sometimes you could almost hear too much. You're too in the weeds.
Yeah.
Where you
I
don't,
agree with that.
You can't see the forest for the trees.
Well, the criticism he gets is, he doesn't. What we just said, you don't play an instrument. What do you know? But he makes bangers. He
the proof is in the albums that he's produced.
He knows
and
what works.
the pudding.
And the pudding too.
Oh boy.
Well, that's what he was going to say. The proof is in the pudding.
So I'm interested to see I love the old footage of bands writing albums or rehearsing or whatever stuff you haven't seen. And Amy and I think we talk about Get Back when the Beatles documentary. Couple of Christmases
6 hours long.
Oh, it's a lot, but it's
pretty cool though.
It's extraordinary watch them
in their younger days.
It's surreal. It's surreal because
it's like dropping in on a moment in time.
And everything has been broadcasted and published about the Beatles that you could possibly imagine.
You didn't think there was anything new.
And then to see this.
Well, to watch Paul, for example, and this has been talked about a lot, but to watch Paul McCartney pulling Get Back out of thin air as he's sitting there and he's just humming to himself and he's writing the song in the moment. I had the chills watching that.
And in this documentary about Tom Petty, he does the same thing. They talk about how he could just sit there and write a song on the spot and it would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Or funny. I mean, he was a pretty funny guy. There on Wildflowers, there are a couple of songs that are pretty hilarious, like Honeybee, and he's just got like a little funny edge to him. And it was really interesting. One thing was that he fired his drummer from the Heartbreakers, basically, to bring on a new guy who had a sound that he liked to go with his Wildflowers concept. So he did not think the old Heartbreakers drummer could do what he wanted to do. And he had all of these people come in and he couldn't figure it out. And then all of a sudden he goes, that's it. That's the guy. There's a guy named Steve. And he ended up being the guy.
It's always a Steve.
And he had him play on a song that he had never heard before. Petty said, okay, can you handle this? So they started playing this tune that this guy Steve had never heard before, and he nailed it on the drum set. So it was cool.
Okay. Also, I want to bring up your dog, Miller.
Yeah, I want to talk about Miller on my 3 good things because I just feel like the guy needs a little love. He should get some, you know? I was walking him yesterday. He's 15 years old.
15?
But he's a husky lab mix who's 15. They don't live to 15 usually.
No.
He has no hips. It's literally bone on bone his entire life. And when he goes down the sidewalk, you can hear him. It's his right leg scraping because he can't. But yesterday, the reason I wanted to do this is because yesterday he was trying to run. He was like, let's go. I mean, and I was just like amazed at his spirit. His spirit is incredible. So if I take my other dog, who is half his age, out for a walk, he'll tell me whether he wants to go when we come back. So if he's in his bed, nah, I'm not up for it today. If he's sitting by the door, he wants to go too. And so he still loves it, man. It's about 8 months ago, we were considering euthanasia because he was that, close to dying. And we were just like, hang on, let's hang in there another week. And it's been 8 months and he's still, he's a tough SOB. I think he lived on the streets for like 6 months at one point before we adopted him.
It's unbelievable. We had my dog growing up. I was 24 when we finally put her down, but she had screwed up her knees, like whatever the equivalent of a knee is, right, for a dog. And they thought had torn ligaments or tendons or whatever. I don't know what you call them.
Knee. I don't know.
She had this cough thing almost, right? Oh. And she just wasn't walking on her hind legs. And we got to the point where we're like, okay, it's time. My dad takes her to get it done. And it's almost like she knew what was happening because they get to the vet. He opens the door and she starts walking around like, I'm good. I'm good. Let's go home. And I remember being at the house and my dad pulls back in and the dog's with him. And I'm like, what the hell happened? He said, she just started walking, so I couldn't do it. So anyway.
Farce that she's been putting on.
Yeah.
Like, I've taken it too
like,
far.
I'm fine. Trust me, I'm fine.
I was joking.
Yeah.
They do know.
They know.
I think so.
So Judah will dig in the backyard and he's not supposed to dig. So he comes in, his paws are muddy and go, Judah, have you been digging? And he won't make eye contact. He hides his head and just holds up his paw to get cleaned. Great stories for roaming St. Louis. You also went to the Soldiers Memorial
right over here
Museum, so you'll have that as well on Sunday. 3 good things, roaming St. Louis Sunday morning.
8 and 9 o'clock hours.
Thank you, Scott Jago.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. We're not done yet. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey, everybody, this is Charlie Brennan. You know that for more than 25 years, I've been a patient at Ophthalmology Associates, the home of the doctors' doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer. Also, my wife, kids, and sister all go there for their eye care as well. After all, these doctors have 3 convenient locations. They have an excellent experienced staff, the latest technology, and a sizable optical department on location. They're also available for emergency calls. And now, the doctors' doctors are pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon with the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment. In Sullivan, 270 in Manchester, and St. Peter's. Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and now Berry. The best doctors to see for your best vision in St. Louis. 314-966-5000, youridoc.com.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, visit mersgoodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
Finding the right talent for your organization is something that keeps leaders up at night. The impact of a toxic employee is profound. Most companies use interviews, resumes, and reference checks, but they still hire the wrong person for the job 1 in 3 times. Using assessment data elevates successful hires to over 90% when using objective, data-driven questionnaires administered by experts. CMA can help you find the right fit for your organization. Go to CMAconsult.com. CMA Global, when your people thrive, your business thrives.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 56 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. Our top story this hour, investigators say a deadly shooting in the roadway on 141 in Fenton this morning was a case of road rage. St. Louis County Police believe 2 vehicles stopped around 8 a.m. on 141 at Gravois Bluffs, and 2 individuals started arguing. It ended in gunfire and 1 person dead. The suspect is in custody. The war in the Middle East has hit a pivotal moment with Israeli troops engaging with Hamas fighters in the heart of Gaza City. Hamas claims Israel struck the territory's largest hospital. CBS News contributor Robert Berger explains what he's hearing from Jerusalem.
This is Shifa Hospital, which is Gaza's biggest hospital, and actually Palestinian officials are reporting attacks on several hospitals. And the army says that it doesn't deliberately target civilians, but if it has to go after Hamas at hospitals, it will.
U.S. diplomats growing increasingly concerned about Israel's war with Hamas in Gaza. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick reports.
An open letter calling on the Biden administration to demand an immediate ceasefire has now been signed by more than 1,000 officials in the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID. They're concerned about the growing number of civilian casualties in Gaza. The White House has rebuffed calls for a ceasefire, and the State Department says only that it's a trying time for our workforce.
The White House says President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping will discuss a range of regional and global issues when they meet next week in the San Francisco Bay Area. Gordon Chang, author of The Coming Collapse of China and an expert on U.S.-China relations, explains what's likely to come out of the meeting between the two leaders.
The Chinese need a lot from the United States right now because their economy is ailing and there is pessimism throughout Chinese society. And I think that they need the United States to bolster the image of China around the world. And they need the administration to signal to a business that they should remain in China.
Biden and Xi will be in San Francisco for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. The Atlanta Police Department here in St. Louis today to start their weekend recruitment event from 8 to 4 every day. There will be representatives from the Atlanta Police at the Drury Hotel at the Arch. We first brought you the story Wednesday when we asked the mayor. She said she just heard about it Tuesday.
I sent a text to the mayor there, Mayor Dickens, and saying, hey, stop poaching our people. But he wasn't aware that they were recruiting.
Mayor Jones adds that if other cities are going to look at poaching cops from St. Louis, they might have to look into similar recruiting tactics. From the KMOX business desk, the ability for growth in the St. Louis region is being stifled by aging and other population issues. Professor of Demography and Sociology at St. Louis University, Ness Sandoval, says there are people still moving to the city and county, but it's mainly single-person households.
What's happening in the region is that we're losing families. We're losing young families. And so that's always difficult math when you replace a family with a single person.
Sandoval says other states who already experienced it have not found a way to combat it. If the trend continues in Missouri, he says we could lose a seat in the U.S. House by 2040. And checking the roads this hour, it looks like there continues to be delays again today on eastbound Highway 70 as you move through Cave Springs and Zumble. That's due to that construction zone. The forecast sponsored by Wild Olive Provisions.
The rest of today will be sunny and cool, high 60. Clear and cold tonight, though 27 of the coldest suburbs, about 34 downtown at the Arch. Veterans Day, sunshine mixing with clouds, the high 57. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg and the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Currently, we have 54 degrees in Florissant, 54 in St. Peters, and sunny skies, 56 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Wild Olive Provisions is an artisan cheese, wine, and craft beer store located in the Shore neighbourhood. We have grab-and-go cheese and charcuterie boxes, craft beer, and a carefully curated selection of wines. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook for new products and tastings.
Time to rewind. It's the Chris and Amy Rewind Recap.
Don't you love political discussion? Because we had quite a bit of it with Hancock and Kelly to start the show today as we wonder what's going to happen moving forward, and brought to you the story that I find to be interesting, though I'm not sure it's realistic anytime soon, that Dwayne Johnson, who is The Rock, the former wrestler, the actor, he owns the XFL. He was approached by a couple of different parties, at least. He didn't mention which, if it was the Republican or Democratic Party or a third party. He said he was approached about potentially running for president, and also left the door open to consider it if that's what people want. This was on the Trevor Noah podcast, What Now, which is just been released.
Okay, let's say no labels, Republican, Democrat. Two of the three, which two do you think approached him? Because maybe it's because I don't follow celebrity gossip, but I have no idea. I
bet at least no labels would be number one, okay. I would think. And I bet the Republican Party over the Democratic Party, though.
Who though?
I wouldn't be shocked if either or both.
Because if the Republican Party did it, it would have been several...
For the future. It may not be for 2024, but I bet it would be for like, hey, would you consider this at least?
Because how does Trump fit into that narrative, like you said, unless it's just for the future? And two, I don't know which way The Rock leans.
He never talks about it.
So
I don't think he's ever really indicated that he has a lean in any direction.
Maybe hardcore fans of The Rock who follow him on Instagram or Twitter, I don't know if he's super active. The only thing I know about The Rock is that he's funny in the movie Jumanji and that he owns the XFL.
He does own the XFL. You never watched the wrestling, did you?
No. He's not in Fast and Furious, is he?
One
of them? No?
No, you're thinking of Vin Diesel.
They're both big and bald, right?
Well, the Rock is much bigger. I don't think Vin Diesel's all that big.
Is Vin Diesel a wrestler too?
No, just an actor.
Are you sure?
Ethan says The Rock was in one of the later.
I think he was in one.
Oh, was he?
I could have promised I saw The Rock in a car.
Fast and Furious 15? 7? I've never seen a full Fast and Furious all the way through.
Fast and Furious 7 between The Rock and A Hard Place.
Forget about it, cuh. No, I've not seen it. Those movies do not appeal to me at all.
Well, anyway, I knew I had seen The Rock in one of them, and also I thought Vin Diesel was also a boxer or MMA fighter or wrestler. He's just a muscly actor.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, just kind of who he is. So we talked about that. We also discussed with Major Garrett, Joe Manchin making the announcement that he is not going to try and run again for the Senate.
They can show us whatever poll they want. We know that he would, if he ran, would not win re-election. He doesn't want to run and lose. He wants to end on a high note in West Virginia, so he's in all probability not going to seek re-election. That wasn't clarified until absolutely yesterday, and that means that the West Virginia Senate seat is going to go to the Republicans. There's no question about that.
I also thought, first of all, if you missed that interview with Major Garrett,
Odyssey app,
you can listen to it on the podcast. And Major made a really good point because much has been said, including by me, about that popularity of the generic Democrat. And Major,
Great point on this.
Major brought us back down to earth and said, yes, a generic Democrat will always do better than a specific Democrat like Biden or Kamala Harris, because a generic Democrat represents your hopes and dreams.
That's right.
It has no track record.
Right.
A generic Democrat doesn't have a past. It doesn't have any previous policy stances or any questionable quotes or controversies. A generic Democrat is everything you want a Democrat to be.
A generic Democrat or Republican
Yes.
is all of your ideals.
That's exactly right. And I thought
That's
that
what it
was
is.
such an obvious point, but such a good point.
It's a
that
great point.
And I say obvious meaning like, of course, like I had a duh moment. Here I was putting a lot of stake in the generic Democrat. And I thought that was a good way to bring us down to earth.
It amounts to this. When you have a team that you like and you want the manager or you want the coach fired,
Mm-hmm.
and you say anybody but this guy,
Mm-hmm.
that's great until they bring in the other guy
Right.
who happens to be worse. And then you go, oh, man, I kind of wish we had the other guy back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wish we had this guy back. It's the same exact thing, because you're putting in your mind like every single perfect aspect of a politician that you want. You're hoping for that. It's such a great point, and I didn't think of it when we were
that's what
talking
I
about it
mean.
yesterday.
I know.
It's such a great point.
It's such a great point. So much clarity.
It's not realistic. It's not reality.
Mhm.
That poll, that answer, the way people have responded to it is not based in reality.
And I asked Major too about his greatest concerns in this upcoming election year and his greatest source of hope and optimism. And he said, with hope and optimism, we've seen some elections decided already, and the loser of that election concedes graciously and immediately and says, yes, I lost this election. The people voted. Congratulations. All the best to my opponent. And that's it. And that is how elections should work. And he said that gives him hope. His fear, however, are some of the more extreme actions that have been taken. And one of them we mentioned at the beginning of the show, although we didn't really get into it, is that 4 county election offices in Washington state had to be evacuated after they received envelopes with suspicious powders. 2 of them were field tested positive for fentanyl. And this is while workers were processing ballots at Tuesday election. So, of course, this is someone trying to stop the election process. And fentanyl is so dangerous, just any type of exposure to it. It's not something that you have to ingest for it to be very dangerous. And that's crazy. That reminds me of the anthrax scare of how many years ago was that? 15,
oh, God,
20?
2002-ish, 2003?
Yeah, 20 years ago.
I'm talking 20 years.
I just remember envelopes and being afraid of what could be in it. But that's not good.
And these were sent to, I don't know if you mentioned the states. I don't think you did.
Washington State?
Well, they were sent to Georgia, Nevada, California, Oregon, and Washington.
Yeah.
So, states that are typically blue. And then Georgia, which is a battleground state, so is Nevada. And one of the letters, according to some of the reporting, is that the letter said, end elections now. And there was a rainbow flag on one of them, which is weird. It's almost like, and I was listening to an former FBI agent talk about it this morning, saying that sometimes when people do stuff like this, they will do a ham-fisted attempt to try and throw the scent off. So I'm trying to think of an example right now.
Well,
but they will say, totally, it was
Right.
Antifa who did this. I'm writing Antifa really big in the letter, so you don't come after me. Sort of like that kind of thing, which doesn't really work because the FBI is not stupid.
Right. It could be that, or it could be some crazy like the Chaz in Seattle when the anarchists got that Capitol Hill part of Seattle and took over. And there were a lot of like rainbows and hippies and anarchists in that situation. And of course, they're not serious people. I mean, they think they're serious, but as far as their impact on the country, it's going to be minimal. It also could have been some random anarchist like that.
Could be. I think it's probably more likely not, though, especially with the states that these things were sent to.
Just reminds me whenever I think of the anarchists on Capitol Hill, Chaz. The
Chaz.
Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. That's what it was. It reminds me of a famous quote from Mark Twain, who said that clothes make the man. Clothes really do make the man because naked people have very little to no impact on society. It's true. I think of that with anarchists. Oh, stop. You do that. He does this thing where he knows if he doesn't speak or laugh, I'll freak out and keep talking nervously.
And it works every time.
Works every time. I hate it.
Hey, talking about the Cardinals offseason with Mike Claiborne as well.
Everybody's waiting on them to do something to improve the team from last season. But I look at a lot of other teams that are around baseball who probably are in the same situation. And I don't think they can afford to wait because there isn't a plan C. There may be a plan B, but I don't know if there's enough players around to have a plan C. And in that case, you're either getting someone who's overvalued, and then you end up paying them too much. And then you're going to look around in July and say, who thought this was a good idea?
Well, he's talking mostly about pitching. The Cardinals, we know very well, need starting pitching help, probably some bullpen help as well. The problem they're running into, Amy, so do other teams. A lot of other teams need help, and the Cardinals need a lot of it. So if they're truly intent on being competitive next year and more than competitive, they're going to have to spend and probably overspend.
Well, that was a question that I have. It's one thing to just keep saying pitching. We need that. Well, a lot of other teams do as well. Are there free agents out there? Are they going to have to make a trade? How much are they going to spend? And is there anyone who's untouchable on this roster?
I think nobody, except for maybe Jordan Walker. I don't think Jordan Walker is touchable. I think that's probably it.
Because ultimately, I mean, you have an Arenado and a Goldschmidt, and it doesn't feel like those two cornerstones, right, of your lineup would go. But if you absolutely need pitching, doesn't at some point you think, well, we got to give up?
Yes.
Something.
If you're trying to compete, if you're intent on that for 2024, then you're going to have to overpay. That's just the reality of the situation. I also discussed my my Karen episode at the Starbucks today.
Yeah.
How I literally called customer service, but I think I'm in the right here. I called customer service because I had a suggestion for them to stop letting people have giant call ahead Uber Eats and DoorDash orders because it's just holding up the line. And Big Blonde Dan, our loyal listener, said that he is right now on the way to pick up 5 coffees just for the hell of it. And then he said, the audacity of this guy, then he says, maybe I'll throw in a bunch of egg bites to really gum things up.
First of all, I'm guessing he used that phrase to really gum things up because that's what those egg bites taste like. They're disgusting. I shouldn't disparage this. I had a reduced fat turkey bacon egg sandwich this morning. It was delightful. But the egg bites?
I've never had one.
Don't get them. I mean, I think that's why Big Blonde Dan said they're going to gum things up because they're gelatinous.
Also, we have a helpful listener because must have been listening yesterday when we were talking about Ron DeSantis, and you keep talking about the boots, the white.
Well, primarily
primarily
because you like them, and I think,
like them.
I just think it's admirable that you will go to bat for Ron DeSantis's boots.
Yeah, and you made fun of him. Well, here's a texter to 314-436-7900. Not a fan of DeSantis, but in gator and snake country, you wear white boots so you don't think your feet are something dangerous like a gator or a snake.
I mean, it makes sense.
Okay, that makes perfect sense to me.
I've had a hair, like you have long hair on you or something, you think it's a bug. So I can see maybe you think your own foot would be an alligator.
And also, I'm just looking this up. Apparently, the white boots are for fishing, truck rides, and mowing the yard because the light color absorbs less heat from the sun.
Okay.
That is according to a Gladesman. You know what a Gladesman is?
Yeah, it's like a ranger in the Everglades.
That's right. Or a person who not a ranger, but a person who just...
Like a park ranger.
Yeah.
In the Everglades.
Like a Glades people.
Oh, like a Gladesman.
Glades
like he
person.
just lives there.
Just kind of, yeah.
Oh, I thought a Gladesman It feels a little bit like there could be a hint of expertise.
Speaking of that, we need to get that dude who he goes by Garrett Fishing. Is it Garrett Fishing with Garrett? Who's always he's on TikTok and he's on Instagram, and he just he records himself catching invasive species in the Everglades. Like geckos, and he's looking for pythons, and his account is hysterical. It's really good.
Oh yes, you introduced me to Fishing with Garrett.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He'll grab a little critter and What am I, from Missouri?
Sometimes you do that. You say right quick too.
Right quick.
Oh, I'm gonna do this right quick.
He grabs he'll grab a gecko and he goes yoink. I love Garrett. He's great.
Yeah.
We should get him on. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We've still got the no prize football pick'em with Sam Page and a new contestant, Dave from Baldwin. Bottom of the hour here on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-728-8500. 800-728-8500. That's 800-728-8500.
Manchester Coin & Jewelry is the estate buyers. From fine jewelry to costume jewelry, watches, working or not, on Manchester Road west of 141. It's Manchester Coin & Jewelry, the estate buyers.
St. Louis Weight Loss Secret is having a huge one-day only holiday flash sale with $500 off. The flash sale is Wednesday, November 15th from 9 to 5. This is Debbie Monterey. Mark your calendar for this one-day only huge event to take advantage of the lowest prices of the year on the amazing St. Louis Weight Loss Secret program. They know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no HCG, no drugs, no injections, and no surgery. On Wednesday, November 15th, go to moweightloss.com and sign up. Start losing those unwanted pounds either before, during, or after the holidays. No more losing weight and gaining it back. They will teach you how to keep the weight off for good. I've lost 40 pounds with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. You can lose the weight too. Remember the huge flash sale with $500 off November 15th, moweightloss.com.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. More than 11 years ago, we set out to help women right here in St. Louis. Today, Coalition Life celebrates more than 3,500 clients served and thousands of lives saved since we began this mission with you. Each one is a miracle. Over the years, day in and day out, our team has walked alongside women facing the fear and challenges of an unexpected pregnancy. Through the support of this community, we have given them hope and a path to choose life for the children they carry. Our work at Coalition Life continues, and we need your support more than ever in a post-Roe v. Wade world. Whether you join us as a volunteer, an employee, or a donor, know that you have a special impact to make for these precious children. Visit coalitionlife.com to give your vital support while reducing or completely eliminating your state taxes through Missouri's 70% tax credit. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com.
You couldn't pick a worse time to sell your home. Sure, your home is worth a small fortune right now, but are you really going to swap your 2 or 3% current interest rate and pay 7 or 8% interest on a new house? No way. You don't have to with the Get Paid and Stay program from Truehold. This is ingenious. With the Get Paid and Stay program, Truehold will buy your home now at its best current value. You bank the cash and stay in your home until interest rates come back down or as long as you like. It's your call. well. Plus, you won't have to pay property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold pays those expenses. Learn about Truehold's Get Paid and Stay program. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com.
All the news and all that matters to you. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX. The phone number to visit with us is 314-436-7900. We broadcast or we stream on Facebook Live. We stream on YouTube. You can watch us all there. And you can, like I said, text the show, leave us a voicemail anytime you want. Might as well plug this number into your phone. 314-944-1120. Do you like Jared Leto?
Okay. I mean, I don't have any feelings towards Jared Leto because I don't think of him that much at all. So, I don't know.
Do you like
No.
30 Seconds to Mars?
No, I don't like 30 Seconds to Mars. And wasn't Jared Leto a creepy Joker or something? A villain?
Yeah, he in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. So, no, I don't like Jared Leto.
Because he was the Joker?
Because, yeah, it was a creepy Joker. I'm sure he's a great actor, though, because he also was in that movie with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, the Dallas Buyers Club.
Yes, and he was also Steve Prefontaine in the movie about Steve Prefontaine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Anyway, he's in the band 30 Seconds to Mars, and he climbed the side of the Empire State Building this week. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah. So yesterday it happened, actually.
Okay.
He climbed the Manhattan skyscraper in a stunt to announce his band embarking on their world tour. It's called the 2024 Seasons Tour to Latin America, Europe, North America, Australia, New Zealand.
Okay.
So he climbed, and there's photos of him climbing with ropes
But see,
up the side. It was sanctioned, I guess.
see, that's the thing. That doesn't count.
What do you mean? Doesn't
the
count.
real
He still did
climbers
it.
are the ones who do it without a safety system and then who go to jail afterwards.
That's true. Well, you know what
That's a real. You didn't climb the Empire State. You did a touristy, special tourist event or activity. That was a special tourist activity. He had ropes. It was sanctioned. You're not a real climber unless you have the chance of death, and then you go to jail afterwards.
Did you see the guy from last month? Actually, I think it was almost exactly a month ago that in the West Loop in Chicago, which is a downtown, it's part of the downtown, a guy freehand climbed. He didn't have any ropes or anything. And he just was, he was finding a way to up the Accenture Tower,
Oh.
which is pretty tall. And he got up there.
Hey, how high could you free climb, or what's the highest you could free climb something? A tree, a ladder?
And I'll give you to the second floor.
I know I've climbed higher than a 2-story house before when I was a kid because we had some giant trees and I was eye level with the, oh gosh, what's it called? The pointy part of the roof. What's it called?
Probably a steeple. I don't know.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Why am I the pitch? No, I don't know.
what it's called. Here's what I do know.
Okay.
When I watch videos of people climbing
Yeah.
tall buildings, I immediately get sweaty. I'm terrified of it.
The Alpinist, free solo.
Can't do it.
White knuckle watching those movies.
Pass. When we come back, Dr. Sam Page, St. Louis County Executive, and Dave from Baldwin, our contestants in the No Prize Football Pick'em. It's Friday. Let's go.
Hey guys, it's Dave from the Dave Glover Show, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays on KMOX. Let me do a promo that no one's ever done in the history of radio. I talk 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's impossible to do without saying a lot of really, really stupid stuff. So if you would like to see someone just melt down about once a week, tune in. It can happen anytime between 1 and 5. Usually happens in the 2 o'clock hour. I'm not sure why. 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on KMOX weekdays. It's the DGS. Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning. Is your home ready for the holidays? Because they are right around the corner. Some people hire a cheap deal of the day carpet cleaner to save a little money. That never works out well. You can trust Zero Res. They have been to my house multiple times. All of my friends and family have used them. They do an excellent job getting everything, including the residue, out of your carpeting. It's going to be perfect and smell fresh and be healthy for the holidays. And they're going to offer you a great DGS deal. So what is the deal? Every month, Zero Res offers the DGS listeners a good deal, a better deal, a deal you can't get if you don't mention me or the station. Here's what it is. 3 rooms, Zero Res clean for $129. Your air ducts, take $50 off of those. We do tile. We do upholstery. We can do area rugs. In fact, we can do anything you want. 314-474-2020, ZeroResSTL.com.
While no child should have to spend the holidays in the hospital, there are many at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital who will not be able to experience the joy of opening gifts around their tree. Please join KMOX and give the gift of hope and healing to Cardinal Glennon kids and support the Tree of Hope year-end giving campaign. Your gift ensures that these brave patients can continue to receive the critical care they need during these challenging times. Thank you for giving at treeofhope.org.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan. In celebration of McKelvey Homes' 125th anniversary, we are having our biggest sale of the year. Save up to $89,000. Get special financing in the 5s and free closing costs on all move-in ready homes. Visit The Preserve on Mackenzie Road near Watson, a beautiful community with 4 lakes, nature trails, and wooded home sites. We have a variety of homes from the 400s, including our villa and estate homes. Don't miss this opportunity to save big and get in before the holidays. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
At 12:30, we have sunny skies, 56 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. St. Louis County Police say a deadly shooting on 141 at Gravois Bluffs was the result of road rage. Investigators say the victim and suspect stopped their vehicles in the roadway sometime around 8 this morning and launched into a verbal argument. It ended in one shooting the other. The suspect in custody. The investigation is ongoing. A federal judge declined to postpone former President Trump's trial over the classified documents. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum explains.
While the judge did not yet postpone the trial to a later date, she has changed the deadlines for pretrial motions and document production. She said that she would revisit the trial date at a separate time after the motions are decided and all the documents are exchanged and reviewed, remembering that many of these documents are classified in nature.
A pond in Hawaii has turned bubblegum pink, the bizarre phenomenon likely caused by drought. Scientists are warning visitors against entering the water or drinking it because of the high saline content. U.S. Fish and Wildlife staff on Maui have been monitoring the pond's bright color since late October. Early indications point to halobacteria as the source of the color. They are organisms that thrive in bodies of water with high levels of salt. Checking the roads this hour, we've got a pretty big slowdown in that construction zone, eastbound 70 as you head through Cave Springs and Zumble. And we've also got a report of a stall westbound 64 before Clayton Road in the right-hand lane. Checking the forecast for today, we're going to have sunny skies. We're expecting a high around 58 degrees, clear and colder tonight, a low of 36. Right now, 56 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW. I am so confident that my team will take care of every one of your service and sales needs. I'll give you my cell phone, 618-791-5470. Newbold Toyota or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Join me, Amy Markscores, and support Jewish Federation's Blue Ribbon campaign. The Blue Ribbon symbolizes support for the safe return of all 240 hostages taken by Hamas terrorists. And the ribbon unites you with people of all religions, races, and nationalities in telling the people of Israel they are not alone. Be part of the movement. Every dollar donated goes to saving lives and providing support in Israel. Visit jfedstl.org to learn more and to donate. jfedstl.org.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us?
Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-221-6319. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-221-6319.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-221-6319. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-221-6319, or go to oxcarcare.com.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes talks football, family, and more. Monday nights during Sports Open Line. Only on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Okay, boys, here we go. Hey, from the jump now, let's go. Who's ready for some football? Football!
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
So glad football season's back.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji. Oh my God, it's Friday.
Oh,
because
baby.
it's Friday and it's after 12:30. It means it's time for the Chris and Amy. No, I almost called it the show. The Chris and Amy No Prize Football Pick'em Challenge.
Called that because if you win,
Well, let's ask Dave in Baldwin, who's with us. He is our listener contestant. Dave, what do you get if you win today?
I'm stoked. I'm so looking forward to winning nothing.
That's right.
That's right, Dave.
That's right. Dave gets
Wow.
it.
Dave,
you win nothing.
You'll get a damn thing.
That's
Dave,
how we
if you
keep
win.
it legal.
Well, you do get the opportunity to come back next week if
Sure.
you beat the others. And the others include Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji, that's me, and this gentleman, Dr. Sam Page, St. Louis County Executive, who was our champion last week, so he gets to come back once. Dr. Page, how are you?
Good afternoon.
And you know what you get if you win today?
Absolutely nothing.
That's
That's
right. You
right.
don't get anything.
That's right. We're
That
on the
is
up and
right.
up here.
Here
no
we go.
prizes for anybody.
All right, so you know the rules. All you do is pick the winner straight up. Don't care about the spread, don't care about the total until we get to the Sunday night game, in which we want the winner from you and then the total amount of points scored. Very, very simple. So let's start in Frankfurt, Germany.
Frankfurt.
They're hosting all kinds of NFL games in Germany. The Patriots take on the Colts. Let's start with Dave in Baldwin. You got the Patriots and the Colts. Both teams are not so great. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I think this game's going to be a lot like watching Mike Pence watch paint dry. I'm going to
Ouch.
go. I'm going to go with the Colts in this snooze fest.
Okay.
Okay.
Watching Mike Pence watch paint dry.
dry.
That's actually really
He
good.
doubled down on the
I
dull.
like that. So you're going with the Colts. Okay. What do you think, Dr. Page?
I'm going to go with Colts too.
All right. Indianapolis Colts it is.
All right. Here's my reasoning. More people know about the New England Patriots than the Indianapolis Colts. And there are people probably there who are Tom Brady fans from back in the day who never really got to support him. So the Patriots are going to have home field advantage in Frankfurt, Germany. So I'm going with the Patriots.
Okay. All right. The New England Patriots, Amy is taking because somehow she believes the Patriots have home field advantage in Germany.
Yeah.
A lot of Bostonians love to go to Germany, I'm guessing. The Patriots are just so bad. They're
Yeah.
such a bad football team. I have to go with Indianapolis here. The Colts aren't that good either, but I think the Patriots are worse. All right. This is a matchup of two very good young quarterbacks. You've got C.J. Stroud for the Texans at Cincinnati against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Dave?
Yeah, I think Joe Burr is going to show Stroud. He's going to take him to school. They're coming off a strong win against the Bills. Got to go Bengals all the way in this one.
Bengals it is. How about you, Dr.
Bengals
Page?
all the way.
I'm going to go with Cincinnati too.
Okay. You like Joe Burrow better?
I think this will be closer than people think, but I think Cincinnati's gonna take this.
There is a 6.5-point spread. Cincinnati is favored in this game. Amy?
Well, that's who I'm going with. I'm going with the Bengals.
All right. I don't like picking the same teams that everybody else picked.
I know.
But I also have to go with Joe Burrow here. And part of me, it's just because CJ Stroud is doing so well. He's so good right now.
Mhm.
And it makes me look at my team and get really sad. All right.
Well,
so
when do you ever look at your team and not get sad?
they won last night and I'm sad. So let's go to the Packers on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got Green Bay 3-5. The Steelers are 5-3. Dave and Baldwin.
Yeah, Steelers are tough to beat at home. Steelers all the way.
All right. How about you, Dr. Page?
Steelers.
Steelers it is. Amy Marks cores.
Okay, here's the thing. I was going to pick Steelers too, but it's not very sexy for us all to pick the same one. So I'll pick Steelers and you can pick the Packers.
Don't make me pick the Packers.
You have to now.
Oh, come on, dude.
I know. I might have just given you a gift.
No, you're making me lose. All right, I'm picking the Packers.
All right.
Just because I
You
hate
turned off
myself.
your
I'm
mic.
See, I
Yeah.
hate myself. I'm self-loathing Bears fan. So
Yeah.
I'm picking the Packers this week. Ugh, I don't like it. All right, let's go to Dave and Baldwin with our next pick, which is the Cleveland Browns are on the road to take on the Ravens. Both teams are pretty good. I think the Ravens are an elite team here. Cleveland's done well so far at 5-3. Dave?
Yeah, this is going to be a slugfest, physical game. I'm picturing a Nikki Haley, big Vivek Ramaswamy cage fight here. I'm going with the Ravens.
You are going with Baltimore. All right, Dr. Page.
It's a high-scoring game, but Baltimore's gonna pull it out.
All right, Baltimore it is. Amy?
I'm going to pick an upset here.
Oh, you're going with the Cleveland
I
Browns,
am
are you?
going with the Cleveland Browns, and it's going to be close. It's going to be close and high scoring, but the Browns are going to come out on top to the Ravens' dismay.
You know what? Just for the hell of it, I'm going with Amy. Cleveland Browns it is.
Wow.
It's just going to be one of those games. You
I
know,
know.
They're going to have a tough time in this one. They have no
Sure.
business having a tough time, but it's going to happen. All right, the Atlanta Falcons, they need a quarterback. The Cardinals supposed to get Kyler Murray back. They have had a miserable year so far. So it is the Falcons and the Cardinals. Let's start with Dave again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the upset here on this one. Murray coming back should be a big boost. Let's go with the Cardinals.
All right, Dr. Page.
Well, I like the Cardinals too. It was a little bit bad sportsmanship for Atlanta to come into town this week and try and hire our police officers. So I'm rooting for the Cardinals.
That's a great point.
That's a really good point.
Stupid Atlanta.
Yeah.
Amy?
I think I got to pick stupid Atlanta.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I'm picking stupid Atlanta.
You know, I'm going to go with the guys on this one. I'm going with Arizona at home. They get Kyler Murray back. Going to get a little bit of a bump at home, and they're playing in Arizona. Yeah, all right, let's do that. That'll work for me. So far, the Dave and Dr. Page have picked in line.
Wow.
They're in line. They have agreed on every single one of these. So we should have them talk policy after this is over. All right. So let's start. Let's go to now. This one is just really upsetting me, and I'll get to it in a moment. Is the Lions, the Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions.
They are facing the Chargers on the road. The Chargers guys play in LA, just so you know. They are no longer the San Diego Chargers.
Mhm.
All right. So Lions, Chargers, Dave.
Gotta go Lions. They're on a roll, playing pretty good.
Okay, Detroit it is. How about you, Dr. Page?
Well, I like Detroit too. The Chargers are unpredictable and they could show up, but I'm going to go with Detroit.
See, there they go. Again, they're
They are.
together.
Well, I'm going to fall in line too. I'm going with the Lions.
Oh,
Not
really?
thrilled about it, honestly, but I'm
I'm glad
doing it.
I'm glad you've done this because let me tell you something.
yeah.
This development of the Detroit Lions being good is one of the worst things to happen to me in the last 2 months. It annoys me like you would not believe.
Are you saying the Lions are the Ramaswamy to your Haley?
Well, no, the Lions are actually good. So that's different. So I am picking the Chargers because I need them to beat these ninnies. I need that to happen.
That's a word nobody uses anymore.
Well, I'm using it. I'm bringing it back. Okay. How about them Cowboys? They host the New York Giants this weekend. Dave?
This is a no-brainer here. I don't know if you remember, Dallas won the season opener against those Giants 40-0. So I'm expecting to see more of the same. Dallas all the way.
All right. What do you think, Dr. Page?
Dallas and not very close.
Man, I got to tell you. Hey, listen, I don't know if you do running mates, Sam Page, but Dave's your guy. He agrees with you on everything.
Vice County
You guys,
Executive.
it's amazing.
County Executive and Vice County Executive.
What do you think of that?
Well, we'll have to talk about things other than football someday.
Okay.
Well, but wouldn't
do
it be
that.
nice if you didn't?
Yeah, really.
All right, Amy.
I'll just add we better stick to just football.
That's right. Well, I do have to go Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, man.
I know I don't want to do it, but I also don't want to lose.
I get it. I'm picking Dallas too. I'm sorry, I have to. I'm not going to be contrarian on this one. Dallas Cowboys are going to win. They're going to win easily. The Giants stink.
They're bad.
Wow. All right, so here's the Sunday night game. We need total. We need the winner, and then tell us how many points total in the game you think are going to be scored. The New York Jets will face the Raiders in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Dave?
I'm going to take the Raiders, and you need total points, correct?
Yes.
44.
44 total points. Okay. Dr. Page?
Well, I like the Raiders too. They've got a little bit of a bounce, but maybe not so many points. I want to say 38.
38 points. All right, Amy, mark scores.
I am picking the Jets.
Wow, the Jets.
And I think it's going to be a real snooze fest. 28.
What?
28 points.
What?
In a horrible, boring game.
All right. I am going to go with the Vegas Raiders at home because I'm going to bet on the Jets against the Jets as often as I can until stupid Aaron Rodgers comes back. I am going with 40 points in this game.
Wow.
I'm going to take 40 points. The over-under is 36 and a half. So all pretty good guesses here except for Amy. She way underdid it.
No, I'm just saying, I think it's going to be boring.
Well, it will be boring. I'm sure of that. All right. So we have our picks. They are in. Dave, you know the drill. If you win, you get to come back next week. Dr. Page, one way or another, your services on this are no longer required because the guest picker only gets to come back once. So if you win, you just get to have a nice bragging rights poster in your office. That's it.
That's great. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Sam Page, County Executive here in the St. Louis area. Dave from Baldwin, best of luck to you as well. Thank you for hanging out with us today.
My pleasure. Been an honor.
I like
right.
Dave.
Dave's right. It has been an honor, hasn't it?
Dave from Baldwin kind of
That's right.
rocks.
That's great.
Aren't you? You've spent some time in Baldwin.
Well, yeah, my parents lived there for a while. My
That's
grandmother lived there, I think, pretty much my entire life.
What if they know Dave?
I doubt it.
Oh,
but we can ask.
Was their last name Ranji? I mean, your grandmother?
No.
Yeah.
No, it was not. Anyway, I love Baldwin. My parents lived there about 10 years. Right off of, I don't know. I can't think of the road. I just know how to get there.
Manchester?
Well, yeah, off that. I just can't think of the side road. There was a gas station, if that helps. Anyway, so the no prize pick'em. We'll have the results on Monday. We'll see. Look, they picked together on everything. If they both are right, it's going to come down to the final score.
And what were their respective guesses?
For the final, 44 for Dave, and Dr. Page had 38.
This is going to be close.
It is going to be close.
Unless I crush it.
I have been getting smoked almost. I've won one time. One time.
I think I've only won once.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
It is week 10, and I've won once. Wow. Hey, the Bears did win last night, though. And I've had multiple people text into the show. So somebody has also, let's see. When is the Bears wrap up? This is from a YouTube message. You're not getting a wrap up. They won and they still stink, and it actually made me sad.
You should have played the fight song. I think you should be able to play the fight song every time the Chicago Bears win, which means, maybe once.
Why? You're so mean. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
When choosing a skilled nursing memory care community, considered by U.S. News and World Reports as a best memory care community, choose Park Provence, where expert care is not cost prohibitive because they understand the challenges of today. For nearly 20 years, Park Provence has been the experts at treating dementia and Alzheimer's disease. If you're faced with making a difficult decision for your loved one, call today at 314-542-2500 or visit parkprovence.com. That's PARC Provence.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
The average age of a hearing aid wearer has gone from 68 to 59 years old. What's going on? Let's check in with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center.
Baby boomers think of themselves as 15 years younger than they are. They're shifting their mindset from a retroactive to more of a proactive mindset in healthcare. They're focusing more on preventative healthcare, and that includes better hearing. We're here to bring loved ones back into the conversation. So please come in to see us so that we can test your hearing and get a treatment plan that's right for you. Hearing aids are so much more than better hearing. They can also alert loved ones if you've fallen and of your current location. They can keep track of your steps to encourage healthy movement throughout the day. Come see us to learn more.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Colleen Bosler has 3 locations: Creve Coeur, St. Peter's, and Florissant. Call 636-441-7470 to make an appointment.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
St. Louis, thank you for choosing Onder Law as STL Today's 2023 best law firm. Although our work has always been about you, we are proud yet humbled to be acknowledged by the community we serve and love. At Onder Law, we will continue our mission to make a difference, one case at a time.
When you're injured, you need the best. Call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Do you worry about running out of money in retirement? Discover how you can make your money last as long as you do with Your Retirement Professors. Saturday afternoon at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
More Amy, more Chris. What is this weird show? It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
It's Friday.
I know. Apparently, Amy was just telling me this, that everybody is still confused about tipping, even though it feels like we have
talked about it
a
lot.
Thought that we've reached the conclusion here, but
so Washington Post had a story, and CNN now is having the discussion about this new poll revealing that most Americans are confused about tipping, or tipflation, as they're calling it.
Automatic service charges, and this is according to Pew Research Center, 72% of people say they oppose businesses adding additional fees, including tips on bills, regardless of group size. That includes 50% strongly oppose. I strenuously object. 50. That's a huge number. I don't mind the automatic tip. I don't care if it's just me or if it's 12 people. Automatic tip is perfectly fine to me. They just have to make it clear. Here's the gratuity. This is what it is. And if you want to add additional, you are welcome to, but you don't have to. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Practical question. This is something I don't know the answer to. I know what I do, but I don't know if it's right. You order food from a restaurant. You're at home. You call and order it in for you yourself to pick up. So you drive to the restaurant, you get out of your car, you walk in, you pick up the food, you get back in your car and you drive home.
Yeah.
What do you tip for that?
So the custom is between 10 and 12%. Some people say it's up to 20, but I don't agree with that.
Because if it's 20 is if you're being served at a table.
Well, think about it. A 20% tip. You're assuming the person comes back to the table 4 or 5 times. Right? Do you need something? Do you need more of this? Do you need anything else?
20 is the minimum for me.
Yeah, that's a good 20%. But I think 10 is perfectly fine for putting everything together.
Yeah.
Here you go. It's in the bag. Okay, goodbye.
So
that's I think perfectly fine.
I've been doing 15%, and I feel bad about it, like they're judging me.
About the 15?
Yeah, when I go in and pick up, not table service. Table service is 20, 30, sometimes more, depending on the cost. But when I pick up from a restaurant and I drive there, I get out of the car and I pick it up, I do 15, but I feel like I'm being judged. You know what I mean? Because it feels wrong doing something less than 20.
I think yes, but here's what you need to feel good with, I think, is that there are probably a ton of people that don't leave anything.
Yeah.
They think I'm just walking up to the counter, grabbing it and leaving, and you didn't really do anything, so I'm not going to leave you a tip. So if you leave 15, that's for carryout, that's more than acceptable. 92% of people say they always or often leave a tip in a sit-down restaurant, according to Pew, which you better.
Who are the 8% that are not?
I used to not get tipped, and I was a terrific server. Yeah. All right, have a great one. We'll talk to you on Monday at 10 o'clock. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
One of the great things about little boys and little girls is when they grow up, they want to be just like you.